You can dab all you want, Tony, but you're getting older.
Can you hear the creaks?
Yeah, getting older, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Here we are.
Still young. I'm only 31.
You have a long time to go, hopefully.
I remember thinking when I was going to go to college, I was 27? I remember thinking, Jesus, I'll be 31 when I graduate.
Jesus.
And now I'm 31, about to graduate.
And then what are you going to do? Oh, sorry, we clapping.
Yep. 4 years hard labour.
Well, I have to get graded first, but...
I love that.
Better
Sorry,
not
are we
fucking
clapping?
fail.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't mess up when you're editing it. All the
Yeah.
claps.
Fucking cheer or something. Come on, lads.
Hey.
Some fucking effort then. It only took me 4 fucking years.
Okay, why don't you introduce our guest this week?
Nah.
No?
No, we have Jago. Passengers, they're called that.
Passengers,
Guest.
Mhm.
Jago, and we have the return of Tony Cantwell.
It's our first return passenger.
Our first returned passenger.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the ferry so much last time. I came back for another passage.
It was a good ride.
It's a good ride.
As always. Yeah, 20 episodes later. Exactly.
Jesus.
You've had a run now. You've had some
Yeah.
serious names on here.
I
It's
swear
been
to
very
God,
impressive.
we really have, yeah.
I mean, you guys have been great as well. Like, I'm just saying, not to say that your guests are the main reason, but
And
People tune in.
We've had, I'd say we've doubled our listenership easy from, 5 to 10.
yes,
Without a doubt. And then 4 of them are in this room.
still a serious percentage at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's it. You can say that. Our relationship's gone
It's
up.
50% of 20,
Yeah.
which is great. But we have you in here specifically because you guys are running a fucking superb podcast at the moment
stop.
called
Oh, thank you
Sexy
very much.
Beasts. No, it's great.
It is.
I've been listening to it. It's fucking hilarious. I was listening to it yesterday, eating a sandwich, and I nearly choked on the fucking sandwich with laughter. It was great.
That's where you want a dangerous laughter,
Yeah.
everyone getting hurt while they're listening to it. Yeah, it's doing all right. Like, we're getting a bit of good feedback and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah. Tell us its premise.
Well, I'll let Tony do this. He does it every week, so we might as well just, keep the status quo.
So what we do is, it's a podcast, a weekly monster review show, essentially. And it's a review show because we're not proper cryptozoologists or biologists or smart enough to really know, well, Jago probably is a bit more than me, but to actually know the ins and outs of these things. So we just look at it at very face value within a Wikipedia article or one more web page, and then we review it based on whether we think it can fight, if there's much evidence for it based on what we've seen, and if we think it's cool.
Yeah.
And then we give it a score, and then we rank it in our premier crypto base.
Yeah. The elevator pitch is it's
Gas.
top trumps, an audio top trumps for monsters.
Yeah.
And I fucking love top trumps.
Yeah.
Oh,
really love
what was your game? What type did you
We
play?
used to have spiders.
Spiders.
I was, thinking back in it now,
Jesus.
it sounds awful. I can't look at a spider. We were in, me and Rachel were in Letterkenny recently for a weekend, or a midweek Groupon job,
Lovely.
And there was like a zoo, quote unquote, there. It was actually brilliant, but the first, they're like, go in this room, start here, and then you go around the back, go around the back and blah, blah, blah. And the first room was the insect room, and I was fucking hungover. Like, I was in a heap. Like, I felt like I was going to puke,
Mhm.
I walk in, and I'm just confronted with a tarantula. And I was like, no. I had
And
to
was there
walk
no
in
other
and
way
see-
around? You couldn't avoid. You had to go through the tarantula room so you walked around and see the
That
rest
was,
of the animals.
that was the worst part, right? You could. It was a totally separate room
Mhm.
to everything else. You could totally avoid it, right? But then I looked like a fucking pansy.
Mm.
So Rachel's in there checking everything out, and I'm like cowering in the corner in fear of these things trapped in a fucking glass box. So
My-
anyway, back in the day, I didn't mind spiders. Used to play drop jumps with them.
My
Ever?
genuine fear of spiders is genuinely like my gut instinct is that that's going to digest me. Like, I mean, I don't think I'm going to get poisoned or it's going to bite me. Like, I think it was maybe that Cure lullaby video where like the spider
Oh,
starts eating them
yeah.
in slow motion, and it's kind of like slowly
And he
being
gets
digested by all the teeth.
And he
You
takes
liking
all
that?
the
Enjoying that?
spider webs all over him eventually, and he's like, his band, they're just the drummer boys. and
Oh
stuff.
yeah. Great
Uh,
video.
Mental.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I don't like it.
You're getting the creeps over there.
Yeah.
I thought I'd gotten over my fear of spiders. I just hadn't encountered a large enough one in a while. And a few months ago, I was getting into the shower, and as I got in, I turned around and I saw this giant spider in the other corner of the bathroom, and I jumped out but slipped.
Oh,
Like, seriously fucked up my knee and ran naked out of the bathroom screaming in pain. And when
Imagine, right, you smacked your head off the toilet and died, right? But
Okay.
but it's like one of these, Netflix documentaries. Then Shauna gets like put in jail for murder, And it's like, she didn't do it. And there's all these weird theories
It's
coming out.
just
And
an area, yeah.
someone puts out a theory
Oh,
that there was a
yeah.
spider. You know, he saw a spider and he tried to get away from it and he hit his head and he was like, that guy's a lunatic with the spider theory.
He has a big board behind him with all red twine linking and all. Yeah.
All the top trumps are up there with pins on them.
Have you seen that new Netflix thing about your man, the pizza guy who got? It's called Evil Genius or something like that.
Oh,
but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
about a bank robbery where a pizza man got held at gunpoint and he was made put on a bomb on his chest.
I saw a documentary about this years ago. The
Yeah,
man
it's
go around and commit
mental.
loads of crimes.
Yeah, so he went to it like it was like
Oh, they made a
Whoa,
film
wait,
about
wait,
that. 30
I-
minutes or less with Aziz Ansari.
that. It was
But a
loosely
joke-
based. It was,
yeah, but
it was
joke film
haha
about it.
funny, but this guy
Yeah.
actually ended up dying.
That's real.
Oh,
That's crazy.
no.
I did add it to my
Spoiler,
list,
by the
but
way.
no,
Yeah,
that's what it was
definitely
about.
watch it.
Yeah.
Well,
Brilliant.
and in the first like 10 seconds, they're like you see him because they have like a news camera on him, and then you see all the police running away from him, and it like someone's counting down, and you're like, oh fuck, like, and then it
Oh,
just cuts
no.
away at the end. It's pretty messed up, but like
Yeah.
it's
They
great.
do good documentaries.
Yeah, Netflix, like Wild
Yeah.
Wild Country and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was unreal.
They do. God bless them.
Mhm.
Don't
you
God
see-
bless them. They're making fucking rakes of money out of us. Don't bless them.
Well, it doesn't mean anything to me, you know. An L blessing.
And they'll bless them now
True,
and
yeah,
again.
yeah.
I say it all the time. Al hates it, don't you?
Bless
I
them.
wouldn't say hate it, no.
He told me to stop.
Could have been
Well, you say God bless, I usually respond dog mess.
Dog mess.
dog mess.
God bless this dog's mess. What I really like about your podcast is like, you know, you take it seriously to a point. Obviously, it's a funny show,
Mhm.
but like you do research. You talk about like genuinely, like this is gonna influence this category, fighting or evidence or whatever.
Mhm.
And then every so often, like the wall will come crumbling down, and it'll just like expose itself. You know, like someone will go, you know, actually, maybe why would you put a statue of the Doberkeel on someone's grave if, you know, and you're like, well, unless you really wanted to convince them it was a monster that did it and not the husband. And you're like, oh shit, yeah, no, maybe that's it, you know. And the wall comes tumbling down. It's like, oh shit, yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
there's-
some bastard getting away with murder.
There's a lot of revelation moments when we kind of, because we do our research separately and then we talk about it. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of revelations as we're playing, as we're doing it. Recently, we had both done the Mothman, which was is it West Virginia?
West Virginia.
West Virginia, this thing, it's a clairvoyant, looks like a moth arrives just before disasters arrive, just before a massive bridge killed 60 people just because one weak link.
I seen the film.
Apparently was seen,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
which is
exactly.
here. Apparently was seen wearing slacks,
Yeah, that gets me.
flying
every time.
around.
It's just-
flying around the World Trade Center moments before.
yeah.
Jesus, really?
But then, as well as that, the Jersey Devil from New Jersey, both of which there's theories that it's this what's the
Crane.
this kind of crane
Yeah, I
thing.
can't remember the name of it now.
This red crane. And literally I just showed Jago like the picture of it while we were doing the podcast, and he was like, "Oh shit, yeah, no, that is what it is.
You know, debunked everything. It's like the podcast's over now.
That is what it is, and it's probably the Mothman too."
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it has these like this plumage, like this red plumage around its eyes, and like if it's dark and it flew by, you'd be like, "That's a fucking that's a
Right.
man or a Mothman."
Mm-hmm.
It's like a lot of Bigfoot sightings turn out to be bear.
Yeah.
From a distance, or
Yeah.
that shaman
Upright.
guy who's just having sex with his wife dressed in a suit made of hay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was in the news like a couple of days ago. It was funny.
What?
Someone thought he saw Bigfoot, so he got all his mates like in a hunting posse, and then when they turned up, it was just this pagan shaman, and he's dressed in like a suit made of hay, and he was just fucking his girlfriend in the middle of a forest. And then they were like, and the hunting guy was like, "No, it wasn't them I seen. It was definitely the."
That's very rare that you come across some story like that you like. You could probably say there isn't a porno about that, you know.
Yeah.
Very rare these days, but I bet you there's not. Well, there probably is now.
Rule 34: if it exists on the internet, there's porn of it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I
Now there is.
guarantee, like, does that ET porn? Is
Yeah,
that pterodactyl
was
porn.
Pterodactyl porn. I gotta send you some links after this.
Yeah.
But
I've seen it all. I've seen it
We're
all.
just saying it to Glenn, and Glenn's like, yeah,
Yeah,
I already
of
have
course.
that.
I made it.
That's my bookmark.
No, but it's funny
They're
talking
my
about the lad having the ride essentially dressed as Bigfoot, because we read for our pilot episode that we didn't put out. Well, actually, for the original concept of
Yeah, it
the
was a bit
podcast,
off the wall.
because we wanted to do a podcast just about cryptids because we find that really interesting, but we kind of felt like we're not authorities on that. So I had the idea to have a thing where we would pick a cryptid and we would think of a way that we could coerce it into having sex with us. And that was going to be the whole premise, every episode.
Because you're an expert on
Sexy
that.
beasts.
Yeah, because we're an expert on like, it's like I don't,
Seduction. No, you can't say that.
no, certainly not an expert on seduction, but an expert on like bullshitting about how I could fuck something,
Yeah.
and how I could coerce it and go on a perfect date.
It started off like we were like, oh, sexy beast is a gas name. Imagine like we had sex with this animal or whatever.
Yeah.
Or not this animal, this cryptid. So Jesus Christ, bestiality is coming out now. But then it was like, okay, no, how would you win it over? How would you juice it? How would you bring it on a date? And we were like, oh, we take Bigfoot to a foot spa, or like we massage it, we'd shave it so it looks more human and bring it out for a date in like the city.
I went to one of those things in Greece there a while ago with you put your feet in it and all the little fishes
Fish,
Oh yeah,
eat away.
it's mad.
It was great.
I was
Yeah.
just, like,
I was pissed.
who found this out? Yeah, like someone was just in the sea and was like, oh, my feet feel a lot softer. I've had them in the sea.
Someone's in the water and then they're like, what's nibbling at my balls? And why does it feel so good?
So, did everyone around you in Greece have their feet in it and you were just dangling your balls?
No, everyone had their balls in.
Oh, it's a Greek thing.
Everyone was pissed.
Yeah, well, we were actually talking about a couple of weeks ago, I think. I don't know, it's all, the last couple of months are a bit of a blur. But we were talking about how these kind of myths about monsters and shit, coming out of the water and coming out of the forest, places you don't want kids to go, stuff like that. And that could be the origin of some of these things where it's you just scare the shit out of kids about this particular place and they won't go there, Like whenever there's like urban legends about like psychiatric hospitals and stuff like that, it's probably because someone was trying to scare their kids away from going there,
Yeah,
hopping over the wall.
You find
Yeah,
a lot
good
of that. So
point.
it is like places you want to be kept out of. So there's a lot of things about Chernobyl, about the Botman, stuff like that. And then it's also if someone does something fucked up, like a man does something fucked up, he'll instantly blame a mystical creature.
Yeah.
Because he's like, oh, so the kappa we had was is a Japanese water creature who used to, like most of the descriptions of it are like it's a playful little mischief thing, but then it'll be like, oh, and then also eats, will kidnap your kids and rape women. And then it's called, like it all comes from one like little town where there was loads of impregnations by a mysterious creature, but we definitely know it was a man. Like he was just going around telling people, "Oh, the kappa did it." Ooh,
Yeah.
and that sort of thing.
And then also, I mean, it's kind of on topic. We at the moment, we find a lot of these things end up eating babies, like in the Philippines and Japan, because of people essentially having abortions
yeah.
and being in very staunchly, especially the Philippines when the Spanish arrived.
I was wondering about that when I heard you speaking about that. I wonder as well if it's got to do with just the rate of mortality in children back in those days.
Could be as well.
Something like that.
And they wouldn't have understood stillborns, people who are miscarrying that end up dying, all that kind of stuff.
Sure, yeah.
It's like
people who could have done with abortions
Mhm.
that didn't have access to abortions, and then those kind of myths.
They're just trying to
Yeah,
explain
fair
to
point.
themselves that, like, my baby died for a reason. It wasn't because it was just my body rejecting it.
Well, this is the
or
problem with
something
being
like that,
human. You have to try and explain everything,
Mhm.
and when you have no information, you can come up with some.
We
crazy
swear
shit.
the podcast is a bit more lighthearted than us just talking about abortion.
What are you saying about this
We
podcast?
fuck Bigfoot.
What do you mean? You saying this isn't? You saying this isn't lighthearted? Fuck you, Jacob.
We tried to keep abortions and rape out of it, but there's sort of creeping because of the
Yeah,
whole.
because of Tony. He's always talking about abortions.
I
and
just
rape.
like to bring it up. Dinner podcast as much as I can.
Yeah, and then there was another one. Hang on, I'm just looking at my notes here. Sorry.
No, it's
We
fine.
were talking about as well. Now I can't really remember what this was, but these were saying, I think it was the Tick Balang. So the last one I listened to,
Yeah, sexy horseman.
Sexy horseman.
Sexy
Oh,
Horseman. Yeah.
Sexiest.
He's
of
everywhere.
he's
What was it? He like pushes you down, and then when you try and get up, he pushes you down again.
Yeah.
That's his whole thing.
that's such
terrible.
that's the funniest like college prank that
Yeah,
you do.
it's just some prick in the fucking schoolyard.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
surprised you didn't turn your school bag inside out. Like these are like low.
Yeah,
low
yeah.
No, you
impact.
turn your bag inside out to escape him.
Oh, turn your clothes in. Yeah.
You have to turn your
That's
clothes
right,
inside
yeah.
out to escape him. Show him the tags.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
They have tags back then.
Yeah. Nike.
Yeah.
Filipino Nike.
And he stamps the shit out of your head.
Yeah. Fucks you
So
up.
yeah, so in the south for some reason, the Philippines, everything's a bit more violent. So it's like
Right.
in the north, it's like I'll push you over, ha ha ha, whatever. But in south, if you don't grab, he has like a golden hair, and if you pull the golden hair out, he's your slave. If you don't do that in enough time, he'll just stamp on your head and kill you. Which is like,
It's good risk reward though.
yeah.
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 Imagine having a tick balang on your side.
Imagine having a gold.
Think of the
Good.
sexy
Hair.
consequences.
Oh, God.
Consequences.
What you were saying about people love to explain away things by saying they're crypt. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't a tick balang, but like saying, "Oh, that was just a tick balang,"
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
because you don't want to face the idea that it's like a human being. And we were saying something similar there. Whenever a few weeks ago, about people after these kind of mass shootings and stuff, and everyone's searching for the mental health issue somewhere.
Yeah.
And it kind of can come across a bit grotesque. It's like,
Mm.
why are you searching and trying to force this? But I think it's just like people just don't want to face the fact that a human being could do such a thing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what the annoying thing is when you have. Well, I mean, the mental health thing is probably. It's probably the good thing to go to when I hate just when people go to evil, because you can't do
Yeah.
anything with evil.
No.
But you can definitely, politicize evil, and things like that. But the idea of mental health, I'm glad that people are kind of searching for that, because it used to be like this evil gunman or this, because then that's just unexplainable, and you can't do it. There's no.
And you use that for political reasons. You can really do some nefarious shit to people,
Yeah.
You got an evil person on the other side. You're just like reducing the complex issue down to nothing, and then you invade Iraq.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Jesus, this is a morbid podcast, isn't it? Fucking hell. And it's me. It's my fault. Jesus. I tell you what, we're recording this on the video for the first time.
Joe.
Hello, video.
We are.
But we do have a light up there, and it's fucking roasting in here. Is anyone else roasting?
Yeah, it's nice, sexy little hot box in here.
Yeah.
Should the hotbox is just
Very
the smoke
sexy.
going by. Can't see anything, guys.
I've noticed an awful lot of no posters up around my area.
Mm.
What's what are your areas like? Any balance there?
I'm city centre where I live, and for some reason my street, I don't know if it's a no-go area for no posters, but I don't have any. Now,
Mhm.
there's yes posters all over the place.
Right.
But I did see like one guy going down the road, like taking no posters down.
Taking them down.
Yeah, taking them down, but he was taking down the yes posters as well. I just think my road is like a no-go area for
Oh,
posters.
really?
Right.
It's really weird. Like, and like no one said anything to him. It was a Saturday morning, and my road's
Mm.
packed. Like, I'm right in the city centre, right in the middle of Liberties.
Is it near like a tourist?
No, it's not
Place
anything like
around?
that. Like, and everything was. He wasn't working for the council. He definitely wasn't working for the council, but he was
Okay.
taking them all down. But yeah, just as soon as you go past my road, you just go to like where Christchurch is and stuff.
You should start a myth around the area that there was some cryptid that
That eats the
It's-
posters.
Yeah.
Sustenance on
No,
the posters.
no, he eats babies, but
Yeah.
you can't tell the difference between posters and real.
Sounds like he's eating. I'll start that again.
It's like when you stole like band posters, from like, trashed or whatever, and put them on your wall.
They're all
Block party, the
all
teenagers.
Wet. They're all wet from
Yeah.
the rain.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I look great.
You go in those old ones from like the 90s, Bertie Ahern and all.
Yeah.
Like run for
Collection of them.
whatever he was
The
running
no
for.
side, had that press conference after the Google banned all the ads,
Mm.
and they were saying there's only 12,000 posters up in the whole of Ireland, and 6,000 of them have gone missing. That's their figures that they gave in. Can't remember who exactly gave it, but like that's not true at all. Like me and Tony went down to Carrick and Shannon and stuff, and all along the way we seen no posters. I don't know if
Yeah.
you did. You were
Yeah, no, there was quite a lot, yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sure there's no like 6,000 alone in fucking Clontarf. Jesus
yeah, it's something like
Christ.
that. Yeah, I was walking
There's a
through Clontarf the other day. You're dead
Shit
right.
ton more now than yes.
Yeah.
And they're swapping them up a lot more. They're changing them. I've seen like
Yeah.
4 new posters
Yeah.
today that I haven't seen.
And new shapes. So I'd say just little ones.
Yeah.
Just saying no. That they
Yeah.
could, like fit in a wall like under trees.
Yeah, between all the another posters that are like
Yeah.
sometimes and seen one that's in town. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's like a little fetus and it has angel wings, and it says
Jesus.
"Peace be with you, I love you," and then something else, "We love you too, save us," and then
Tell you
See
something about that though, because
Mm.
I did this little mini lecture on confession. I was going into confession to see how much confession I could get, which
top up
I'll
on confession.
but I'll release it at some point. But I was trying to talk about like the various kind of like the stages, the kind of Catholic stages or whatever, and obviously baptism. Baptism is where you are washed away of all those sins that you acquired somehow by leaving your dad's dick and then exiting your mother's vagina. So when you were in embryonic fluid, being an absolute prick, you acquired all these sins. But all these babies that are being aborted, just want to say, they're sinners. That's your words, Catholic Church,
Catholic
not mine.
Church, yeah.
And if
Well,
you're
this
going to
is
pump
it.
all this money into saving what you consider sinners, you want to fucking have a look at
I
yourself.
was thinking about that only the other day. I seen someone talking about that on Facebook. All these little things going to heaven and all this kind of stuff. You know what original sin is?
No.
It's the original sin of man. So it's
Eating the
actually
apple.
eating the apple, yeah.
Mm.
That's
So
the,
that's it.
that's the
So-
sin they're
so-
born with.
Babies are sinners because Adam and Apple.
Wait, no, it was Eve, wasn't it?
Eve,
and Apple.
Eve, the woman tempted
course.
Adam, of course.
Ooh.
Of course, it's always
As a lax Catholic, I should.
And then we
probably
were
catch
given
up
that. Then we were given this throat punch weak spot right here as a result.
Yeah.
on that. Joking. Oh,
Terence McKenna describes that as the first drug bust in history. don't take the fucking
The magic apple.
Yeah.
exactly, you know. But it's weird how that is such a part of it. I was watching, or like the guilt and shame. I was watching, what was it, Ross Kemp the other night, and these people in Honduras getting a train, to like sitting on the roof of a train to try to get to America, and beforehand there's a group of them praying, and the dude who's leading it is talking about how they're evil and forgive them for the evil that exists. Talking about evil in the world, not their own actual
Right.
sins, but they felt guilty because they were part of man doing that. I was like, that's just so
Crazy.
weird.
Just the concept of sin, and then you're guilty as a result.
Yeah, and
It's
because
fucked
of
up, like,
everything.
Hard, but it's just another method of control, you know, like the concept of evil. I mean, when you think about it, who was it? Constantine, Roman Emperor, 4th century, came into Rome.
He's like this
He's
all
like
the
this all
time.
the time.
Saw a sword right above the fucking city, and he was like,
Yeah.
"Well, that means I have to take over Rome." Strolled in with an army, took Rome over, became an emperor in there, right? But then later on, it got changed to the cross, and he's like, him and his organization, they wrote the Bible, like the version of the Bible that we have today. They're the people who, you know, editorialized the scripture from back then. And you know, when you think about it, like anyone they wanted to kind of subdue within society, they were just the sinners.
Yeah, it's just a lot
You
of
know?
like, oh, I don't like that person now, so I'll just
Yeah.
scribble something
Yeah.
here in this
Want
papyrus.
to keep women under the thumb, just you know, make them in the bastards.
You know the Dead Sea Scrolls,
Mm.
the language that they're written in. So
Aramaic.
I don't know what I think, some lost language anyway.
Sumerian.
But the
He's winking.
God and love.
Yeah, no, we have a video now. We can
All
see
right,
it.
of course.
But God and love has the same
Right. Yeah.
same word.
Right.
Like it's very hard to decipher fully what it means. So exactly what they're doing.
Mm.
You know, they took, right, we're not going to say love, we're going to say God.
Yeah.
You know,
Imagine you swap that out with all the Beatles songs. I'd be a fucking Christian overnight.
All you need is
God.
All you need is God.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
fucking, if a Christian band comes out with that now, you've heard it here first. I want royalties, please.
Yeah. Trust me, there's no Christian bands listening to this, and not because like they wouldn't listen to this. It's just because nobody's listening. That is not true. No, there's a few people listening, and thanks for listening, and you know, review us and all that shit.
I think there's definitely.
Because you got the number one in the charts, didn't you?
We did, yeah. How
How many episodes were you in where you when that
It's
happened?
number one.
number
our
one.
first one.
Number one with a
Yeah.
bullet. No, but that was. I mean, I think with a lot of these things, like,
Wankers.
okay.
we got to number 200
Yeah,
weeks ago. Yeah,
savage.
for about 2 hours.
For about 2 hours.
Yeah, when I went back on, we were gone.
Oh, that's pretty shit.
Is it? Thanks.
No,
I thought it was an achievement.
No shit, you lads.
No.
I'm only messing with you.
No, we got a good push from Head Stuff, our network.
Yeah, you do. We do have to say a lot about them. They did actually push us
Yeah.
a lot, which is pretty good because they have
And-
about 10,000 followers. And the good thing is, like the art that we had originally,
Mhm.
it's just if you see it, it does draw your eye to it. So maybe a
Yeah,
few misclicks that helped us get there.
yeah, definitely, yeah,
The Facebook stuff that goes up on Facebook, that art.
yeah.
Yeah.
All the
That's great.
the illustrated
Yeah,
cryptid each week.
like I seen the tick belong. I think it was today,
Mm.
and I was like, "Shit, that is a sexy horse."
That's
Fucking
the sexy
sexy
horse.
horse.
Yeah. So
Sexy
our
horse.
illustrator Ashlyn
Yeah.
sent that to us, and we were like, "Oh, Ashlyn, that's not safe for work." But she actually sent it not safe for work in an
she
email.
did, yeah.
I don't want to take her credit for that.
Yeah.
But it was a very clever joke.
And Jago was sending her like a mood board of sexy horses.
I was
The
saying
guy from Brave Star.
Yeah, the guy from Brave Star. I was saying on the podcast, I just typed in sexy horse and I got like two rows down and it got just fucking
Yeah, you
jizz
gotta-
everywhere.
Of course it did. What did you expect? You got to turn
Expected,
your
like,
safe search back
I
on when
should
you're
have
doing that
put
kind of stuff.
sensual horse instead of sexy horse. That
It could
tell
have
you-
been worse.
Anything with horse, then it doesn't matter.
Out of everything that I've looked up porn versions of, because that was a serious hobby of mine back in the Bebo days.
Yeah.
Sonic the Hedgehog goes nasty. Like after like two, like there's fucked up shit.
yeah.
People who love their Sonic and find him sexy.
There's
Like-
a lot of like fanfic of Sonic,
Mm.
like, and it's
So many spikes.
Those
so
big
horny.
feet.
Yeah, his big feet. I think it's his big feet.
Yeah.
How fast he goes.
Mm.
There's a picture I seen of Sonic without his shoes on, and he just has like human feet, and it's the most disturbing thing ever. He's like real hairy human feet, and I was like, oh Jesus Christ,
Just a single toe.
it's like little trotters. I forgot what we were talking about. The Bible.
No, we
Oh,
were
yeah.
talking about the podcast. I mean, well, you guys
Oh, yeah.
have a lot of good reviews and a lot of reviews. A lot of
yeah.
Yeah, we're getting
polished
getting
reviews.
stuff up there. People are starting to
5
review now
stars.
that we don't know, which is nice.
No, very nice.
Mm.
So hello.
So thanks to everybody who's
Glenn
doing that.
1. Oh, it's the best podcast I've ever listened to. Glenn 2. Glenn 1.
Yeah, yeah. But no, I haven't reviewed it myself because I don't know if like they'll pick up on that and like ban you or something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I do all the time.
Do
Every
you?
week I go on, put four.
I'll do it.
No, I don't review. That's going too far. But I put 4 stars.
Yeah.
And
All right.
to be honest, that doesn't
doesn't register.
it doesn't
No.
register. You know.
It goes up to
No.
5, but he just thinks it's a 4-star.
what?
Yeah, no, we're doing all right. I like to be self-deprecating because I think it's funny, but we're very happy.
Have you noticed now with the kind of people that you're getting that, you know, based on the kind of people you've had on, and you've kind of gotten the best out of them, you know, brought the best out of them in terms of very interesting talking points.
Hmm.
Have you found that's good to acquire new guests? Has that been a good?
Um,
Are you thinking of going more ambitious, I suppose, on the basis
Well,
of the people you've had on it?
yeah, but it's if they see, well, I don't fucking know actually. I don't
Well,
know. I just generally send out a message and see what happens.
We got an email yesterday from Darren Brown's people.
Yeah, they
That's the
responded
sort of
saying,
people-
What?
they responded saying no.
Oh,
Oh.
So we're
Because,
not
like, I
there,
just-
but that's where the ambition
We're
is.
just
Yeah, but-
casting
Oh,
a wide
lovely
net. Like,
sound, yeah.
why not? You know,
But he
he's
did reply.
not
so,
him.
Oh.
It's
Yeah.
like you go onto his website and then it's like media inquiries, go to this other website, and then it's like fill in a little form. So I just filled in a little form, 3:00 in the morning. It's like, hey, he's going to be in Dublin for 4 days. Any chance he wants to help out some independent media? You know, try to make it sound like he'd be doing this real cool thing.
yeah.
And I'm like, no.
No. Just no.
Cheers.
Tried to
Fair
get
play to him. Everyone
tried to
gets
get
back to
Jim
you though.
Core a while
Jimmy
back.
Carr's people got back to me,
Jimmy Carr's people.
but I wasn't asking them to come on. I was asking them to give me, I don't know, maybe talk for a couple of minutes, but you know, just write something about a time he was on the Late Late Show. I was going to try and do this whole bit for the podcast about this episode of the Late Late Show from 2008, where they had now on the video you'll see me doing the quotes, a reformed paedophile.
Oh, I remember that. And
Yeah.
wasn't it someone afterwards? It was like Jackass were on it afterwards, directly after him.
Well, Jimmy Carr was on directly after him
Oh.
because Jimmy Carr came out and he said the first thing. Apparently, now I just read this on Reddit, and I've been onto the National Archives about 6 or 7 times now,
No,
and
the
they
R-
will not.
RTE
The
archives.
RTE archives, sorry. And I looked up their rules. They have to give you a quote no matter what, and they keep blanking me. And I got in touch with him. I was like, "What's going on here? You know, I have a right to
Yeah,
this, to access to this." And he got back saying, like, respond to this email, an email I had already responded to. So I responded to that saying, "Here's what I already sent to you." And radio silence. They won't give me the footage, you know, of this this interview with this reformed paedophile and Jimmy Carr afterwards. They won't give it to me. And they won't even give me a price for it. Like, just tell me it's like 5 million quid. I won't buy it, you know. But anyway, so I wanted to do this whole bit with it for the show.
Mm.
It doesn't look like it's going to happen because they're ignoring me, and I'm nobody.
So what happens in it? Because
So
does he
this-
make jokes
this,
about the
this
people?
fucking paedophile comes out and he's like a reformed paedophile, right? Just fucking garbage. He was doing the rounds all over the place at the time. I think he was on Oprah and all this kind of stuff.
Oh,
But
really?
the crowd were really taking to him. Apparently, the controversy was Pat Kenny didn't really like push him on anything.
Mm.
You know, because you think you should be pushed on that kind of thing.
yeah.
You know, and the audience were responding quite well. It was apparently a whole strange affair, but you know, I don't know. If, maybe I'm being unkind to say, you know, people. I think some people in the country would love to think that there's some kind of positive outcome after paedophilia because they still want to be able to believe in the church, and they don't seem to. Like, how can you support the church after? You know, I'm not going to go into it.
No,
Anyway.
I know, yeah.
Unbelievable, because you're a
Yeah.
support. Like, if you become a priest, like you're endorsing that behavior. I'm not saying you did anything. You're not doing it. But if that institution protected those people, and then you endorse that institution,
Yeah.
you know, you're part of the fucking problem, mate. You
Yeah.
know.
See what
Anyway.
the Catholic committee said or something that day. I don't know who exactly said it, but they said not to priests, the Catholic priests, not to report any child abuse they receive in confession. So they said, like, just ignore it completely and let it go on the wind. And it's fucking nuts. How can you, like, this?
Heinous.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely heinous.
Some part of the mentality. I heard a woman on some podcast saying that she loves the evil person more because I can't remember the exact quote, but they're
They
more
need love.
lovable because they need to be saved. You know, rather than rejecting their behavior.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
And there's that word evil again. You know.
yeah.
You can make it into a binary thing then.
Yeah.
But anyway, so this paedophile comes out and he's trying to pretend that paedophiles are all right. And of course, Ireland responds very, very warmly to that. And the audience give him a big clap on the way out. And then Jimmy Carr comes out and he goes, "Worst babysitter in history." And everyone goes, ooh. And he goes, You just clapped the paedophile,
Yeah. That's
and
spot on.
you're doing your ooh and me. Like, so I really wanted to get that clip to play.
Oh wow, yeah.
But
Is
they
it not on
fucking
YouTube
ignored
or
me.
nothing?
I'll get it now. I'm finished college. No, it's not on YouTube. That's why I really wanted to get it because
Ah.
there was people looking for it on Reddit. No one could find it. So I really wanted to get that clip. Not to put it online, obviously, but to use it in the podcast. And they ignored me. But I'm going to get back in touch with them and try and get it sorted. Anyway, so I asked Jimmy Carr's people if he'd maybe write a little bit about it.
Did you get in touch with you back?
He said
Back in touch?
just said no.
Oh.
Mm,
I mean, these are big fucking names, you know.
yeah.
Not yet, but we just cast a wide net.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why not?
We haven't
Got
had
some
guests on our show yet. We've talked about it.
Are you gonna have guests on?
Yeah,
so,
we
yeah.
would. Yeah, we would.
Can I be a guest?
Yeah, of course you can. What's your favorite cryptid? Or what's your what kind of things are you into?
Well, I love this. I love your song.
Oh, thank you.
Got
Loch Ness pussy.
Yeah, exactly. It's Loch Ness Monster. Bigfoot dick. What is it again? Oh shit! I know fucking word for word at this stage.
You dare come at me with the Loch Ness big
Yeah,
Loch Ness pussy and the Bigfoot dick.
yeah.
Okay, sexy beast. Oh, look, there's a Wendigo.
A Wendigo, yeah.
A Wendigo.
Tony
Yeah,
and
where'd he go?
Jago. Look there. Ooh.
Where'd he go? Wendigo.
Where'd you go, Wendigo?
You know, every time you say Bigfoot and Loch Ness and that, and you haven't done them ones yet. So I'd love
We're
to.
saving them for big milestones because
Okay, fair enough. And then
with like
I'm not obviously gonna be a part of that.
no, you come in. We can
well,
have
you could. Well, we're thinking we're going to be doing the.
Ken, how about this? Right. Sorry to cut you off,
No, it's fine.
but I was thinking when I was listening to your show, it'd be great to have someone there that didn't have a clue, like didn't do any research,
Yeah.
and was hearing it all
And
for
we're
the
trying
first
to
time.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
and then they'd say fighting evidence based on you trying to convince them that they're
Convince
good
them.
or
That's a good
bad
point.
fighters.
we had a sort of similar discussion where it's like we'd had like a soundboard we'd go off, not so a sounding board that we go off,
Mm.
but because I think what was it, the kappa we did first in it, and we over researched. Like,
Yeah, we did.
We literally it was fact, and it was. We had a producer in the room with us, and he was just like, "Oh, I learned a lot today, but not one crack of a smile off."
No.
And we were like, "That's not really our vibe."
Yeah, no, so we had to
Nightmare.
change it up. But yeah, I think that's a good idea. I mean, there again, head stuff are very good for kind of collaboing and stuff with a lot of comedians and stuff on
Mm.
there. So we wanted to do one as well, potentially with the guys who do Mother Folklore, the podcast,
Oh yeah.
or the guy, because we were looking at the Banshee and we couldn't really fucking read any of the fucking words.
Right.
Like I got so much stick off my family about that because
Really?
my niece speaks better Irish than me, and she's there. Oh, that's not how you say that. I was like,
Yeah.
Where do you speak Irish?
oh no, I speak no Irish whatsoever. But my
Me neither.
niece went to Gael school.
Well, these days I can say Dobrku.
Yeah.
there you go.
Thanks, lads.
Yeah.
We were both butchering that as well. Double
Double
cool.
cool.
Double door
Talking like an
cool.
old man in a pub.
Although-
Poo.
I must admit the Mukele and Bembe.
Yeah.
The accent is fucking brilliant.
But that was the thing. I mean, that's as much as you can do, really. You know, I mean, I think the just general kind of African accent is a lot of fun to do, but you just can't. You're not allowed to do it.
No.
And I stand by that. I would stop someone from doing it. You know,
Yeah.
there's like a
If I'm playing devil's advocate, I'd say then why do you do an Australian accent when you're doing the what was it again? What was it called?
the fucking bunyip you can.
But then of course you have to look at the history of how Africa has been treated and
Yeah,
enslaved.
Exactly,
there's
yeah.
a power dynamic in it. Like if I'm
Yeah.
slagging a white Australian, like it's grand, but if
There
I'm
is-
slagging someone who's been obviously enslaved,
Yeah.
and
There's a
again,
necessary sensitivity
always
there.
hit
Mm.
across or up, you never hit down.
Because that's the kind of argument people will make. Well, you do this accent, why wouldn't you do that? But
Yeah.
well, you have to look at things in real terms. There's a
Yeah.
necessary sensitivity that you have
Mm.
to have for certain things because of like history.
Mm.
Like it's not like they're doing as well as Australia and Africa now. The places
Mhm.
in
Oh,
ruins
yeah,
in a
just
lot of
about,
places.
yeah.
Like,
No,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? You got Libya and the Congo and all these places still all shocking places.
So that's
So you
why
gotta
we
pay
don't
some
do
respect.
the.
Yeah.
But
What
you
would
do
say?
it.
Well, I mean, because
And then you always say, I'm going to stop doing the
Yeah.
accent.
yeah, I do.
It's funny. Like,
But it's just because it's like, I mean, it's actually, do you know what this actually pisses me off when people like pronounce words in the accent. They say like, one guy he was giving us a lecture, and he goes like, so in France, I was like, fuck off. It's like France, like.
God.
So or some people say, like, can I just have a quesadilla, and they do the voice,
Some white guy from like 10
Yeah.
years, like, oh, I was back from my holidays in Barcelona.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
Barcelona.
You have to say it in your accent. So I feel like Mukele Mbembe,
Yeah.
you can get at least that far.
Is it worse when you're in Spain and you You say it in English, but with a Spanish accent.
No survey says por favor.
Yeah.
I was in Spain once and I was ordering, I was getting steaks. When me and Tony were in Spain, we were in a place called Zaraco. It was like this little small holiday town where Spanish people go to, and it was not no one spoke English. So I was ordering steak, and I was like, yeah, I'll get those. And she comes out with 2, and I was like, no, I won't want. I just want those though. And she kept coming out with 2, and I was all like, please stop bringing out 2. And I was like, copped. I was like, I'm saying dose.
Oh,
And
gas.
she kept bringing it out. She's like, okay,
Especially in your dub, like dose.
dose. I want those.
That's like someone. Like I love flipping it and just thinking of it, someone coming over and like, hey, can I have 2 of them?
Yeah.
And you bring out 2, and you go, no, 1.
Yeah.
She was getting
All right.
really pissed off. She was
Just
looking at me like,
2. Okay, there's 2. No, 1.
Yeah.
Dose.
Yeah.
Let's see what else I have in the old notes. Now people can see me on the camera looking at
Oh,
my
yeah.
notes because I'm just sitting here looking at notes half the
I
time.
thought
You
you were
know?
just a repository of knowledge.
Yeah.
And now you know you have your phone in front of you.
I just have
Illusion.
countless amounts of shit I'm never going to get to. You know what I have a shitload of, Al?
What?
Questions. Remember that time we did mad questions with Ken?
Yes.
'Cause we,
You want to bring it back?
one of the lads. Yeah, well, I meant to keep it going. I keep taking note of them. I have shitloads of them.
Do you have a
Not shitloads.
sting for
Yeah,
mad
you've got a
questions?
sting.
Well, what? What's this thing?
Like you have like mad questions. Here we go.
Oh,
Break it up
like
now.
a little.
Right, just record that and clip it, and then just play it before the mad
Yeah,
question.
yeah,
yeah.
You can have that.
And
We
here's
got it done now.
Tony Cantwell with mad questions. Yeah. No, we don't do any of that stuff. I find that stuff very cheap, you know.
Yeah, I wouldn't even listen to it.
Yeah, no. When I hear it in the podcast,
Skip
I'm like,
forward
oh.
half second so you get rid of it.
No, I love the one where you go, freak encounters. Brilliant. That cracks me up every time. Anyway, I'm gonna stop fucking sucking your dick.
yeah,
here
I'll
and ask
take
some
it.
mad questions. So
I'll
basically,
take it.
there's a lad that was on before, Ken. Gets too many mentions on the show. But he's a tour guide in Berlin. It was a great episode, and he just sends random questions. So does Kev.
Oh yeah.
Kev does it as well. He'll send you a mad question, and I never answer him the way I want to because he
Kev
always
sends
sends me
me
fucking screenshots.
So much fucking shit.
Yeah.
Like, out of the blue, he'd be like,
Just
oh,
crazy
put some
shit.
curry on your wife. I was like, what the fuck? What do you mean, Kev?
Yeah, and then he'll send you screenshots of other people's responses. So I'm like, well, I'm not saying nothing mental here because he's going to screenshot me the fuck.
Yeah.
Anyway, what did okay. Would you rather eat Baloo every day? Do you know what Baloo? I don't know if I'm saying that right. Maybe I should use the accent.
Baloo the bear.
Baloo.
Yes, I thought.
Back to
No,
the
it's-
Philippines.
Is it the
It's,
Philippines?
Yeah. It's a duck egg with an embryo. in it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Seen
I've
this?
seen that.
I
Yeah.
got mad from over there.
Yeah.
So would you rather eat that every day for a year or suck some random dude's dick through a glory hole once?
Well,
Ooh.
Baloo, obviously, because like it's
Every day.
every day. Yeah, I'm not.
Supposed to be
I'm
really
nice
foul.
egg.
Can I
Hey, it'll really foul.
Funny, I don't even know it. Yeah.
can I do a week trial of the Baloo?
Yeah, but you have to suck the tip as well.
Yeah,
You
can
have
I,
to do a trial of both.
Can I have a lick of the glory hole dick just to see which one's cheesier?
Glory hole
Which
lick.
one tastes better?
Yeah.
That's what I see. You have to respond with questions. Then so
Yeah,
it
like,
says
Whose dick am
exactly.
I
Do
sucking?
I get like?
Yeah.
Could it potentially be some unwashed person or blah blah blah? It's
Random
like,
guy
well, it
just
has to be random.
sounds like it could be, it could be clean random guy.
Clean random guy, like a guy,
Yeah.
or it could be a guy just who's with swamp dick, who's been.
Do you know,
think
I'm kind of looking for an excuse to suck a dick.
Yeah.
To be honest,
You can
because
tell.
I'm engaged now and I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah.
And so I probably
your
never.
last
I
chance.
genuinely never will.
yeah.
I never
And
will.
then you're gonna start losing your looks, and then you'll be the old creepy man who's
Never sucked a dick.
on your deathbed.
No one wants to be that guy.
Yeah.
Come closer, little Jimmy. I want to tell you my one last regret.
Yeah.
I've never sucked
Make sure you suck a dick.
Do you know what?
Will never be fulfilled.
Do you know what I did
Granddad
have,
asked me
though?
to suck his dick on his deathbed.
That's going into dark territory.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. No, Jimmy's 18
Oh
at
yeah,
least.
he's just turned
Yeah.
18.
Yeah, he just sounds very young. 'Cause
How old is he?
I know he's.
He hasn't got his dick
he's-
sucked.
Granddad was old.
Yeah.
I did have a century egg. Did you ever hear about this?
No.
So it's an
Is
egg.
it 100 years old?
It's supposed to be 100 years old, but what they do is it's a Chinese delicacy. So they bury a fresh egg. They put it in urea, so like piss. But this one I didn't get in piss, so it's grand. So they bury it for a couple of years. Like the one I had has been buried for 3 years, and they take it out and it's pure black. It looks like marble,
Oh.
and you cut it in half and you eat it, and it's like a really strong cheese. Like I would never do it again. My mouth was coated in this weird film, and then I sucked the guy off, and then he loved it though.
Yeah, and then his dick was covered in a weird film.
Yeah, we filmed. Yeah, but like it didn't. It was like a really strong, absolute gross cheese.
Okay, so that every day for a year. Or
Fuck the dick. You got me with that. Yeah.
yeah.
I'd
See,
have
because I
to-
think that's what the fucking embryo thing is like. Like
Oh,
if you haven't
really?
got a taste for it from living in that society, I think it's like fucking crazy,
Mm.
crazy to eat. Like, you know, and you
Apparently,
can see it.
can
Like
use
you
soy
can see a
sauce.
little yolk. Huh?
Unless you can use soy
That's
sauce.
the thing. Can you use
Oh, yeah.
condiments? Can you put like wash it in sriracha? The dick.
Mm.
ooh, the dick. That's so
Yeah.
good.
Bit of whipped cream.
I did see a YouTube video. This guy Mark Wiens, he does food blogs around Asia, and he eats them all the time. But he just said that it's got more. It tastes more eggy than a hard boiled egg, and it just has a bit more bite, a bit more
Right.
crunch. But it's not crazy apparently.
Yeah, it's
Do
weird.
you mean
isn't it?
like what stage is it developed? Is it crunchy or would it be like
I suppose
soft?
it'd be little soft cartilagey kind of thing.
If
Maybe
you look
a
it
bit
up,
crabby.
you can see it. Like you
Oh,
can
yeah,
see that it's a.
What was it?
chick.
Idiot Abroad. I've seen him.
Yeah.
Yeah. The bus driver was.
Does it
eating
still
loads
have a beating heart at that age?
That's the one thing I had a debate today actually on Facebook.
1 in
about-
5 eggs.
As they
are
said on
banned.
on that
Oh,
fucking debate they had last night. The
Oh Jesus Christ, that was an
I
absolute
couldn't
farce.
watch it.
Some
Yeah.
some
Terrible.
doctor quote unquote was saying that they're fully formed at 12 weeks, and I was like, so what the fuck are they doing? Just hanging around the womb for
Yeah.
6 months? And like, well, they're just growing. But like, my argument would be if they can't breed by themselves and they're not fully formed,
Yeah.
Mhm.
that's a motor function.
You can't get
Yeah.
a death certificate for a baby before 24 weeks.
Yeah.
So like that, like
Because it's a fetus.
yeah. Exactly.
And before 24 weeks, they're not gonna. Chances of surviving if born is like very low.
Because they can't breed by themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the only reason that there is even a chance is because of modern science.
Technology. Yeah.
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 If they were to leave it up to God as they wish, then
Yeah.
fucking every baby would be dead if it
Every-
was preemie.
You know, if we left it up to God, we'd just go back to the way it was about 100 years ago when fucking the infant mortality rate was like 30%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even
It's
if
less
it's
than
You
really-
want to talk
1%
about
now.
fucking protecting babies. I mean, I don't again want to go off on
Yeah,
that, you
yeah.
know. But
How we do.
That
Yeah.
would be.
You're on fellow passengers now. This is how we do things.
I know, but I could have people who
Things
you know,
get funny. I
I could
bring
have
it right
Catholic
back down.
followers on Facebook. Hey, I'm with these guys.
Yeah, yeah, you're one of them now,
You're one of
Tony,
them.
huh?
No, I'm a little shill.
That's why I never actually asked them. Did you get any like hate mail or anything from
Uh,
stuff you did?
no,
you
no,
put-
not really. I just did one video and kind of repeal,
Asking us.
and that was it.
Ah. Into the mic.
I thought that question was directed at you.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
turned away.
I get hate mail.
Hate mail all the time.
No. Do I? No.
I did see, like, I mean, my like, I do actually have a lot of sympathy for no voters, like, you know, no campaigners. You know, you can't really quote Louis C.K. anymore, but he did a bit on, you know, his whole thing was like, they think you're killing babies. Like,
Mm.
that's what they think.
That's what I've always said on this podcast. It's
So-
like they
so-
have that genuine belief.
So, and he was like, so he said that you either need to look at an abortion like having a shit, being a yes campaigner or whatever, or you need to think that they're killing babies. Like,
Mm.
that's really what it fundamentally breaks down to. And I don't think that they come from a perspective where they're like, well, I'm a man and I want to keep women down, so I'm making a conscious choice. You know, the motive is unfortunately been co-opted as this baby protection thing.
Yeah.
You know, and I think any woman who kind of votes no doesn't think that there's as big of a divide
They-
between men and
they-
women.
They,
They don't
totally
think that they're under the
coming
thumb.
from an altruistic position, which
Yeah.
is respectable, you know.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But
And
the
they probably don't
fucking-
like being told that that women don't have the same rights.
Irony of the Catholic Church trying to put themselves out there as the savior of children,
Yeah.
when what they've done to fucking kids for centuries in this country, and they're the saviors of kids all of a sudden. Fuck off. They
Yeah.
just, I'm not gonna say. I was
They
gonna
just
say it, say it.
And they're
Come
fucking-
on.
They
yeah.
want them to be born so that they can.
So, Jesus Christ, yeah.
I wasn't gonna say.
They wanted us to be like the place where in like America and they can go, oh, why can't we pass laws here? Look at Ireland, it's this
Yeah.
peaceful place where all the
Yeah.
babies are born. There's no abortion. We're this put on a pedestal for this because if they lose control, then they lose their foothold and huge
Yeah,
chunk of it.
Which is kind of ironic in America with the conservative, the religious conservative section, where it's like they'll be like, look at Ireland, no abortion, blah blah blah, and all these rules that they want to put in place. They want to tell you how to live your life
Mm.
according to their scripture.
Mm.
But at the same time, they're like, oh, the government shouldn't be able to do anything or tell me how to live my life. What are you talking about? You're telling me how to live mine, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. Well, can I ask you? This might be a very ambitious question for you, Glenn.
Me?
Yeah, but in 20 years' time, right, when all those big churches are turned into car parks and the church is gone, right? Because I know that people go to mass and they like the community aspect of it.
Yeah.
How do you think you could find a way that people could still feel some sort of spirituality, some sense of community, without doing that?
Spirituality. Well, see,
But
I'm
have a similar thing. Like the good points that are there.
right.
How do you think they could be reused or
Well,
refound?
I think that they're there to begin with because that's the natural inclination of human society
Mhm.
is to form these communities, and they're usually formed around an idea. So the idea, like a religion, for example, or a figure of like we follow authority, most of us.
Mhm.
This kind of thing during kind of neoliberal propaganda that you're weak if you're not a leader. Like companies these days, they're always about creating leaders. It's like fuck off. Not everyone's a leader.
Yeah.
Most people are followers,
Yeah.
and that's fine. Like so we have a natural inclination to follow people, surround ourselves around an idea.
Mhm.
The idea of community is usually what starts it, and then it gets coerced by someone who has an agenda.
But we always want to hear the person who can best tell the knowledge.
Yeah, and I think that's naturally going to happen anyway. So if the churches all disappear and religion disappears, people will still have that natural inclination and will form communities around.
Mm.
Hopefully, the idea of community for community's sake, which would be
Mm.
wonderful.
I want to keep the churches, not just the
The
actual
buildings.
buildings
The actual
themselves,
buildings,
not
yeah.
anything inside.
You ever been to the
yeah.
Vatican?
No.
Oh man, it's
Incredible.
incredible.
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing?
Yeah.
I got mass said by the last freak pope,
Yeah.
Freak
Ratzinger.
Ratzinger.
He was mad. He was mad for protecting pedos. That fella,
Yeah.
big time,
Crazy.
mad for it. But you said mass for me now, one time
Did you feel
Privately.
uplifted?
in the bedroom. He was apparently, he had to eat these mad eggs or suck my dick. The whole thing. But no, he's on his little pope.
Parapet thing.
Yeah, he does it out his window of his gaff.
Oh, he has balcony.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's not even a balcony; it's a window.
When
He
it was
wakes up.
gaff.
I heard he's naked
Brushes
from the
his
waist down.
teeth.
He
Yeah.
just walks over. He's like, oh, yeah.
Life of Brian job.
Yeah.
He is the
Kids attached
Messiah.
to his legs.
He's a naughty boy.
I watched that recently. Great.
So good.
Yeah, the Vatican is phenomenal.
Mm.
Highly recommend it.
Amount of money that's in it, though.
Mm.
That's strip it all. Make it a big wooden box for everyone to have fun in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring back giant
then as
raves.
As you're saying, it's a wonderful place to go. Like
Well,
the
the-
art and the history isn't.
Yeah, that's where they have the Michelangelo piece,
The Pieta.
Pieta, yeah. And
It's incredible.
there's a story the tour guide told me when I was there. I hope it's true, but
The fellow passengers.
there was some pope who, the way they all have like tombs and all in there,
Mm.
like with big sculptures of them.
That's in St. Peter's Basilica.
Yeah, and this one fella decided, he was looking for a sculpture, and he found this Danish guy. And he's like, "Look, I'm going to pay you a ton of money to do my sculpture for when I die, but you can't tell anyone you've done it, because if I didn't get an Italian, it'd be frowned upon, But I want you to do it." So your man's like, "All right." Pope dies. They unveil his thing. There's this Pope sitting on the chair, angels flying all around his head and all. But the artist put his own face on him as a kind of fuck you, 'cause he was dead now. But he didn't get. They ended up not burying him in it, and that's now where they keep all the cleaning products for the
Jesus,
basilica.
really?
No way.
Yeah.
His face.
That's so good.
What a fucking sheep shop. I love it. Like,
Oh, that's so good.
I heard an interesting story about St. Peter, the first pope
Mhm.
in Rome, when there was only a handful of Christians and they were being persecuted. So I don't know how much true or anything this is.
Crucified upside down.
Thanks for
Oh,
ruining that.
sorry.
That's the whole story.
Sorry.
oh,
No, but that's the thing I was going to talk. He said he didn't want to be crucified straight up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously a myth because as I said with Constantine, the people who came from that version of Christianity, the people who previous to that they worshipped things like the bread and the water into wine and the fish and bread, the
Yeah.
kind of more positive stuff. And he made it very like angry and hardcore, and they worshipped the dead, fucking the dying Jesus on the cross.
Yeah.
So it can't be a true story because it wasn't a symbol of Jesus back when St. Peter would have been next crucified.
Very good point.
But he
yeah.
said, I can't be crucified straight up like
That's why I was saying
Jesus,
this.
so flip me upside down.
Yeah.
You go, and Satanists,
Yeah.
people always say that's like
Yeah.
a satanic thing, but it's the first pope.
First
The
pope.
first fucking pope.
And they think it was actually,
There
they
you
say
go.
he wasn't actually upside down. One just through his head and his legs akimbo standing on the little bottom part.
Just true.
One through his head and his arms just on the side.
Oh, God. Yeah. All right. Would you rather lose a leg or your best friend?
Oh.
Now, I clarified that when we say, I instantly said leg, but then it sounds like extreme, but it's actually like not lose your best friend like to death, just lose your best friend
Oh.
and it's no longer your
like
best friend.
in a shopping centre.
Or just.
Mom.
Mom! I looked for you everywhere. I looked for Games Workshop. I looked at H&M. Couldn't see you anywhere.
I went to the amputee store. Fake legs. Come on, someone answer.
Would it be up to the knee or the full leg?
Full leg.
Full
like
leg.
how like when those oblique cuts at my dick, or would it be like thigh?
I'm gonna say that you got right across there.
A nice
The hip's gone.
bias on it.
No hip.
No hip.
Does the question say lose a leg?
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
So
lost
like, is
and
it
found.
gonna be surgically removed under anaesthetic, or like randomly lost in some sort of horrific?
You wake up
accident?
when there's like you wake up in a hostel and there's like a little sign.
Yeah.
very, very nice.
Remember, you said this on fellow passengers.
And your best friends. Like
I'm
that.
gonna give you the anesthetic in this one. So the real purpose of
Be
it
a
is,
certified surgeon.
will you? Yeah, it'll be totally fine, right? The thing is like more of the rest of your life, not the. It's not how you lost your best friend, how you lost your friendship with your best friend, or how you lost your
You were
leg.
too slow
It's
walking.
about the rest of your life.
You have
with
one
it.
leg.
you slagged your one leg.
It's like, oh, look at this guy. Like, hop along, come along. No leg.
Yeah.
I like having friends.
Not just your best friend. You still have all your other friends.
Oh, now didn't know this.
Does that include girlfriend, fiance?
Oh, hey, look at this fucking.
Well,
Cute
that's
boy over
very
here.
nice, isn't it?
Because she does loads for me.
Yeah, she cooks. She cleans.
She could really help me out with the lost leg.
Yeah. No, I think leg.
Well, I don't know.
May as well lose a leg.
Is your other half your best friend?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, there
Oh,
you
Guys, I think so.
I think we're all losing our legs.
go. Only because we're being recorded.
I lose my leg.
Yeah.
I think modern technology, I could get some sort of track
And
like
you-
performance could do.
Yeah. that's-
Who needs
yeah.
legs anyway? You know,
Yeah.
True, yeah.
I have a thing about feet. I hate
The
feet.
robots are coming.
I
Mm.
hate
Yeah.
feet. I
like
like
a robot leg.
You hate feet.
I hate feet. Not like
Your own feet.
Yeah, not in a weird way. I don't like feet. I don't like when people touch me with them or whatever.
Mm.
So
Who's
one-
touching you with their feet?
like people, just in general.
Just
Because people
happens
who know I hate feet.
You have a weird
But
life.
when I was younger, like I got really drunk once, and I remember telling my friend this story, and he repeated back to me. He said, "Your plan was to, when you get to a certain age and you know what you're going to do. So after you do CAO, you have to go to a factory and get your feet cut off and put something on that would be more suited to your job. So if you were like a bin man, you'd have some sort of metallic clamps that could pick up bins, or if you were like an ambulance man, you'd put wheels that you can run really fast with and stuff." I was really drunk.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, but
Yeah, we should
I
do that.
ran out of things after, like, if you were a farmer, you can have hooves.
One spade and one like
Yeah.
fork.
Yeah.
But then, what about office jobs? You just have like a printer on one phone.
Yeah, so 2 Wi-Fi routers.
With the bottoms of wheelie chairs.
Oh,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like, whoa, you
Yeah.
can't get your slipping around.
No, it's like a calendar for all your fucking meetings.
Yeah.
What's it called? The Rolodex. You're like,
The
Yeah.
new
that's
iPhone.
Johnny's number. Yeah.
And then, like, time progresses and everyone has phones and no one needs Rolodex anymore. But the old guys still have Rolodexes for feet. And they're like, oh, no one uses the feet anymore the way you used them.
So that's my idea, and that's what I'm going to try. As Taoiseach, I am going to bring in no
you have
feet.
to cut off your feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, have to cut off your feet.
What would you do then?
I said I'd lose the leg when I thought the person would be dead. But then I said, fucking I'll keep my leg.
Yeah,
That's shit.
yeah, plenty.
Because
of
you could lose your friend anyway,
plenty. Of
More
friends.
likely you're going to keep your legs.
Yeah, yeah, true.
Now, if it was all my friends, maybe that'd be different. But just one really good friend.
One really good. Yeah.
I'm sure I can make other friends. Can't make other legs. That's a fact.
Can't you?
Unless you're a lizard.
Unless you're a
Unless
lizard.
you're-
But then,
Oh,
you ever hear
queen.
of?
Mm.
Can't remember what it's called.
unless you're a monarch. Grow your limbs back.
What people say and what people do. The difference thereof. Said that backwards, right? That old experiment, right? If there's a train going down some tracks,
Oh, the fucking thought experiment.
thought
Yeah,
experiment,
yeah, yeah.
right? So there's 5 people on the track and the train's going for it. They're workers. They're facing the wrong way. They got their head things on. They're sure there's no train coming,
Mhm.
right? And they're going to die. But there's a diversion onto another track and there's only one worker there. So either one worker's going to die. Well, there's a train on course to kill these 5 workers, but you can change the track's course to kill one person rather than the 5. And the question is, would you?
I'd let them die.
Because you wouldn't want to influence. You wouldn't.
Because you influencing that situation
Yeah,
causes you
That's
to
what I said.
take the burden of guilt of killing
Mm.
that one person. If you don't influence it, it's technically their fault for not facing the right way or having their ear
Yeah,
protectors
it's
on.
like fate.
Yeah.
basically. What would you do, Tony?
I think in any kind of crisis situation, I could say I'd do something, but I would always go the route of being a passive coward, and so I probably wouldn't touch anything. And it
Mm.
wouldn't be a conscious decision to be like, I don't want to be implicated. I would just be fucking terrified,
Oh,
and
yeah,
I would
like
do nothing.
What about you?
I don't know what I would actually do in the situation, but I think
Everyone's
what you'd like
been
to do.
very,
Well, I think the
very
right thing to do would be to take
Switch.
the one guy out.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now they
Because
ask,
because you're watching and because you're at that control, and it is your job to do that, so you're already part of it.
Plot twist.
well, it
he's
might
an
not be your job.
ex-paedophile.
You've just found.
Right? Are you talking about
Reformed.
A drink.
that? You're basing this now on the test they done where they had the
Yeah. So you know Vsauce, you know that channel?
Oh yeah, yeah. Or
He-
is it?
He did, yeah. Hey.
Yeah.
He did it. That's for the video. He did Mindfield. He did like a series of shows, like little documentaries, and they did it for real. Well, not for real. Obviously, no one died, but they set it up so someone would think they were actually in that
Oh,
situation
really?
with that.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Check that out.
And I think about 80% people say they would change, but only like
Mm.
20% of the people that turn it
That's
back
it. Like you
change.
won't know what you're gonna
Continues.
do in the situation. Like in my head, I'm
Yeah.
thinking I'm going to be like, oh yeah, try and save the 5 people or whatever. But in reality, I'll probably just turn around, look around for someone else to be
Yeah.
like, what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
the version of that where it's pushing someone off
That's
a bridge.
the thing, yeah. So the follow-up question then is, if you said yes, that you would change route, if there was someone standing on a bridge and you knew if you pushed them in front of the train person would become would know to stop and would save the 5 people, would you push that person off the bridge?
Mm.
Most people say no to that,
Does
even
it-
though they would change.
There's like a mechanical thing between
Yeah.
them. It's like a buffer. It's
Yeah,
like, It's
exactly.
not you doing the actual work themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's
you're
it.
consciously.
But what if it's pregnant women on the track instead of workers?
Oh.
See, what pisses me off is the whole idea of the
What-
track.
how long are they along? How many weeks? Because it's after 9.
Yeah,
Because
because that's 10 people on the track then, you know?
You know, anytime up to 6 months.
Oh, we shouldn't make light of it. It hasn't happened yet. I'm getting a bit nervous, you know, but I think it's just closer to the date.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. Everyone's gonna be nervous. I'm a stubborn and like I canvas and I like we're trying to raise money for it and
He's
stuff.
running. He's running
Yeah,
tomorrow
fair play
for
to you.
to get a VS.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good for you.
But
I
like
should've brought it
I'm nervous about canvas, but I don't know. I just the amount of it bolsters me when I see a lot of people with ES badges on
Mm.
and stuff. And like
Mm.
actually on the way here, I saw a no campaigner give out leaflets, and this older woman, and I was like, oh, Jesus. She was like had big pearl necklaces on. She was a real sort of. I think she was like she looked really rich, and I'm probably judging her. But as soon as like the no person came towards her, she was like, "Have some respect for yourself. You're a woman." And she walked away, and I was like, "Oh,
Really?
wow.
Jeez.
there is a thing like where it's a real sort. I'm so ageist. Like I feel bad for it, but I'm sort of like
You make these assumptions. Yeah.
straight away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a massive divide in the way that people vote based on age.
Mm.
It's probably the greatest divide. There's two big ones that I see. You can see it in all elections around the world. The first one is age. I put that down to the difference between a single news source and then the internet.
Mm.
And then the other one is class. But of course, we're not allowed to talk about class. You know,
Mhm.
you're not allowed to talk about class
That's
because
one thing.
class doesn't exist. You know, there are no poor people. Just you know.
Do you think in a couple of years, if we have sort of a similar situation, like say the worst happens and it doesn't go through, do you think, like in 30 years' time, do you think we'll be change our decision just on how because we're older and we're getting
More conservative.
more conservative? Yeah, because there's a natural trend for people to become more conservative the older they get. Just
Yeah.
for,
Well,
I definitely feel like I am.
I try and check myself, and I definitely feel like I am.
Yeah. Like I see things like I suppose you kind of worry about. I mean, I drive by houses and I'm like, do you know what? I actually wouldn't mind a gate outside my house,
Yeah.
like a gate. And why you put what you are putting a gate out to?
I kind of live in a gated community, you know, and I fucking love it.
Yeah, you know,
I'm
and
very happy with it.
yeah.
I don't know if
But
that's
then I'm a
me being
coward,
more.
so you know.
That's
No,
not
but-
being eco-conservative. I'm just a giant cow.
You know what I think it is, though? I think once you start paying bills, everything fucking changes. Like the
Yeah.
way you see things changes. Tax and everything is, even when you start paying tax as a young person, straight out of school, it's still very abstract until you're paying for everything in your life. And then you really start to take a look at things.
Mm.
And you can become conservative in certain ways. I'd never become conservative in terms of abortion, though.
No,
No,
I think
never.
that would be such a huge issue.
I actually
for
don't
myself.
think the word conservative is the right way thing to
No.
use.
No, not even. It's not even centrist.
No.
It's just
It's a social issue, and mainly it's religious people versus non-religious people.
yeah.
And I hate anything, any kind of social issue being categorized by what should be economic ideologies.
Yeah.
You know, conservatism, and government structure. So conservatism, liberalism, all these different things. That's how to run the economy and the structure of government. That's what they mean.
Yeah.
When you start, and this is, you can see it in the American propaganda that works so well. When you start tying them into religious issues, social issues, then you can virtually get away with anything you want with the economy.
Mm.
And just fire people up about abortion and fire people up about everything.
Yeah.
Not that people shouldn't be fired up about abortion, especially during the referendum, don't get me wrong. But it's used to callous effect.
No, of course, and that's the thing that I think you see people in the kind of, I mean, you see people in the left, getting as angry about something, which I mean, I are angry about some kind of, maybe even a word, and I don't mean like a new kind of like trans or something like that, but something new like that. They get fired up, or will outright deny the fact that there is any biological difference between like a man or a woman or something
Yeah.
like that, and they get so angry about it, and they will get more angry than 40 odd people being killed in Palestine,
Yeah.
for a peaceful, like more angry than that,
That's
you know,
crazy.
in terms of like, and that's, that's the like, so who do we prefer here? Like, I mean, are we outright saying that we prefer people here? Are we outright saying that we prefer,
But you know what? The major problem with those guys is, and I put this down to the neoliberal propaganda since the recession, because they lost their economic credibility, which is what you need to have a worldwide ideology that people are going to vote for. They lost that with the recession, so they have to incense people with issues that are irrelevant to the economy to try and get them to vote for them based on their social stance.
Yeah.
So I blame that a lot for the kind of overly, I don't know what I'm
Sensitive?
saying, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even a sensitivity, because the sensitivity is fine. If you feel that compassionately around an issue, that's fine. But to be able to say that I'm going to stop this person having their opinion or from expressing their opinion,
Yeah.
and feel so justified,
yeah.
so morally and politically justified to stop someone else's speech, their opinion, that's not right. That's above everything. Democracy has to hold.
I think as well, like if you
It's
had,
important to be able to speak your mind.
if you live for like 1,000 years and you live for 1,000 years and you wanted to always seek out new information and seek out new, you probably would understand every side. You probably would for a couple of years be a no campaigner.
Yeah.
Even if you started as a yes campaigner, because you would probably understand things and look at things from a different
You go
perspective.
through the whole bloody spectrum. You'd be fucking far left, far right. You'd be
Yeah.
up, down.
So I really fundamentally
Yeah.
do think, like, similarly to like the no thing, and the, like, I always say this, when people say they don't like the Beatles, I know I brought the Beatles already today. I just think, no,
Who says that?
it's like people say, oh, I don't like the Beatles. I just think, no, you just don't like the Beatles yet.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I think abortions are wrong. You just think abortions are wrong so far, because you
Yeah.
don't know the full facts, and you haven't begin to see it from another perspective.
And that might sound arrogant to someone who's voting no. But
Yes,
at the
I know.
same time, there is an objective
That's probably
truth
where
in
I-
all this.
yeah.
There is an objective truth in this whole debate,
Yeah.
because it's not like we're the first country to have abortion.
Mhm.
We don't have it, but if we
Yeah.
legalize it, we're not the first country. We're far down the line. We're way behind. We can find out what went right and wrong in other countries. We already know whether it's something that should be in place or not,
Mhm.
and it should be in place. There's no question about it.
Mhm.
That they should be able to legislate for abortions in the country, no matter what. So there's an objective fact there,
Mhm.
based on expert opinion.
Yep.
So you can say that at some point most people will come around to it. It's especially with the marriage referendum. I don't tell anyone. Most people would have, before homosexuality was legalized, which is a weird thing to say, in
Yeah.
1993.
That's crazy that was
That's
so
fucking
late. Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Before that, people didn't know gay people because they had to hide it so much.
Mhm.
And then over the time, everyone, no, there's no family that doesn't have a gay person
Mhm.
because it's that common.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that idea that there's something wrong with being gay will completely disappear
Mhm.
now that there's no laws restricting it. It'll completely disappear.
Well, I hope in a similar way here that if it is a yes, we can kind of get a bit of momentum and kind of keep the momentum going, where you kind of realize the day-to-day inequality. I mean, you could even just look at most people's parents in terms of who works harder in terms of maintaining, the family, and
Yeah.
and who's just like, oh, well, he can just do whatever he wants. There is a lot more give and take.
Yeah.
That probably needs to happen, and hopefully people can kind of see those patterns after this is not, it doesn't end here. You know what I mean?
That would be
Yeah.
like that was so like imagine we got the yes vote and then everyone's sort of passion it just dissipates, all becomes apathetic again about any sort of.
It won't, though. I mean,
No.
no one got apathetic after the marriage referendum. This is a direct consequence of that
Yeah, it is a
momentum.
bit of sort of a snowball.
The
The marriage
situation,
referendum was a direct consequence of the momentum from the water charges.
And a
Water charges,
glorious
were a
success.
direct consequence of the global economy being crashed by the fucking neoliberals.
I
Mhm.
think
And they were rest in hell.
had it been held 10 years previously, what do
Yeah.
you think the outcome would have been
For which one?
for the marriage referendum?
10 years? What year is that?
Or say even
2014.
2000.
I think
Mhm.
we've been ready to do it for a long time.
Yeah, I think they just need to put it into
Yeah.
words what to do
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
I think even in the year 2000, people had accepted gay people on their TV screen.
Shirley Temple
You
Bar.
know? Shirley Temple
Yeah.
Bar.
Type of bar.
Yeah.
What a
Big hit.
fucking! I mean, I remember just watching her on TV and just kind of being like, at the time, being like, oh, this is weird and a bit, you know, and then just because I didn't fully
You
understand
it
it.
yourself. Yeah,
You know what I mean? And it was also so. She was just so. Nothing framed around, nothing else like that on TV. It was so jarring at the time.
And it was
Yeah.
And
bingo.
now I just realized, and bingo.
yeah. Heavy bingo.
I just realized how amazing that was.
Bingo changed to Irish
And
history.
Pingu
Yeah.
was gay.
Pingu was gay as well.
Yeah.
Really?
Wah,
Don't say that after gay. Gay. Wah, wah.
So
You
I
know-
hear you're a bit wah these days.
What I find strange these days, for me anyway, is like I find myself having to. Well, no, I don't have to, obviously, but defending people on the right,
Yeah.
okay, and defending Donald fucking Trump, right? Who's I'm
Mhm.
diametrically opposed to. Like, he's my perfect political nemesis, right? But I have to defend his right to
Hold
well,
office.
not right, okay. So I would be big followers of Bernie Sanders and Jeremy Corbyn.
Mhm.
Right. And the shit that they get ran through, like with Bernie during the primaries,
Mhm.
Corbyn constantly, the propaganda is unbelievable and it's garbage. So when I see, if I'm not going to be a total hypocrite by saying they should be treating Corbyn with the political respect to attack his political views, don't try and say he's some kind of Czech spy. That's fucking ridiculous.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If I'm gonna defend him in that way, I also have to defend Donald Trump. And there's so much
Completely, yeah.
bullshit, so much propaganda out of America, and people just buy it hook, line, and sinker. There's so many ways to go against Trump. Like, I mean, look at the embassy in Jerusalem at the moment. Look what that's what they're doing. There's so many ways to go against him,
Proud
but always
day.
on the news, he paid off a porn star. Like, who cares? He's a
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
reality TV show. They've all paid off porn stars.
Yeah, but you don't
Yeah.
think
It's
it's like
not got to do with his
because like
policies.
he holds himself to such a high standard in the
Well,
Christian
who gives a
society
shit?
and stuff that this is his.
But that's
thing.
hypocrisy. That
Mm.
doesn't matter in terms of actual policy. You got to fight him on his policies, his economic policies in particular.
Why did
and
they
his- and his foreign
impeach,
policy.
Bill Clinton then for the thing was
Well, they didn't. Well, again,
They
because
weren't able to.
American politics is very.
fickle.
Their system is bad. They have a really,
Even for
really
impeachment,
bad system.
you can be impeached for practically anything.
Yeah,
Just
you just-
everyone has to agree.
Yeah, that's the
That's
thing.
it,
Really,
yeah.
if no one's going to agree in such a majority and stuff.
You know what I
There's
mean?
there's no particular action that will lead them
Mm.
to impeach.
Just if
Everyone's
the
got to
Congress or
agree on
something
it.
What do you think of
decides
this gammon thing going around?
I only briefly saw
What's the
something about
gammon?
that. What is it?
So basically, the left are calling anyone who's sort of older, middle aged, sort of Brexit-y, gammon, because they're sort of overweight and they're pink in the face from shouting about their bent bananas.
Yeah.
And an MP actually from Sinn Féin was like this, like it's race and an ageist thing as well, because you're just slagging them because they're old and they're
Yeah.
and there's a big sort of war about, is this a slur against them?
Right, gammon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
To say you look like a
to,
ham.
to say,
Yeah, they say like a ham. I say that all the time. You look like a super
Yeah.
ham. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
But
And
that's-
these
but when you
gammons-
say it's funny.
Yeah.
But you know the thing about a slur is, I mean, as we talked about with doing the African accent,
Mhm.
there's a reason why we don't do the African accents, because of the oppression
Mm.
that still permeates to this day. The upper middle class of that age group haven't felt oppression in the same way, so it wouldn't be a slur in the same way. And people try and say it's binary; it's either is that kind of slur or it's not. But what it is doing is boxing everyone into that certain thing just based on their age, based
Mm.
on something. You're just saying
Mm.
this is the kind of person you are. And that's not right, because that's what we fight against. I mean, during the marriage referendum, you're trying to say gay people are just people, you know? They're not just boxed into this thing and they fit that one mold, you know? They're just human beings like the rest of us. That's what we're trying to
Mhm.
say.
And to be honest, I actually love gammon. Like,
Yeah.
Bit of pineapple.
Big on
pineapple.
gammon. They
Oh,
don't sell
yeah.
it enough over
Yeah.
here.
I'm gammon
They
for some gammon.
They should embrace it and use it as their word and walk around with like pineapples on their head. Like, here comes the gammon
Yeah.
crowd.
But sorry, just to
Yeah.
finish what I was saying, that
Yeah.
I'm shiting on a lot, right? I'm on a rant here, right? But just
I'm stimulated.
the right wing, defending the right wings, their right to say the shit that they say
Mhm.
against people that I agree with. I agree with the people that I'm trying to say should stop shutting down people speaking, or just basically trying to say that it's okay to oppress someone's views because you disagree with them. Because no, you can't tell that you're right.
Where do you draw the line though? Where do you say, oh, you're okay? I totally understand. I want everyone to have their views. I want everyone to be heard
Yeah.
in this society. But when someone's views start encroaching on what you are fundamentally, when they start encroaching on like hate speech and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you think that like hate speech should be allowed? So do you think that if a Nazi, I should go down O'Connell Street and just shout, "I fucking hate Jews" or anything like that?
Well, I mean, should that be allowed? It's a difficult one to say, right?
Mm.
But you can't be put in prison for that kind of thing. I understand why Germany has those laws,
Mhm.
all right? Because they have a bit of a dodgy history with the Nazis, right?
Yeah.
What happened?
I understand that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, within a functioning democracy, people have to be able to say whatever you want. And I'll tell you why, right? And that might seem crazy, like, because you're giving me a very specific example.
Yeah, that's
of a
that's
time,
an extreme example.
yeah,
I'm
of,
just giving you
of a
anyway.
time when someone's taken advantage of the positive aspects of democracy.
Yeah.
But the reason why is because once you give someone the authority, a government of any description, the authority to decide what's right and wrong, to be able to speak when it's right and wrong, to be able to speak your mind, that's when they will start saying, oh, well, the political opponents, you know, we're expanding this idea of hate speech to encompass people who are pro-abortion, you know what I mean, in favour of repealing the age, because, you know, that's killing babies. So that's hate speech, because you can't say that you're on that side. So we're going to start locking up everybody who says that they think we should have abortion in this country.
Slippery slope.
It's a slippery slope. And that's the reason why. No, but there's people will take advantage of it. But the thing is, through proper education, proper government structure, like we have in this country, good voting system, you can stop the hate speech from getting any traction, because people are accurately represented in their parliament and educated. People will naturally stop that kind of stuff from happening. People on the street will stop that shit from happening when it gets too extreme. People have a way of doing that. You don't need to legislate for it, and it's dangerous too. That's my thing. So I find myself, and I'm not talking about those I'm not defending people saying that kind of hate speech, but I'm defending people
That
who
was
are.
an extreme example. I
That
don't,
was,
I,
yeah.
I don't want it to
This
come
is-
up on fellow passengers like, oh,
Exactly why the Ku Klux Klan still exists in America and are able to have rallies and stuff.
Because they have that right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know. But
English has a bit of a hate speech law. I can't remember exactly. but
Well,
they do have a
didn't
hate-
some guy get locked up? I don't know if he actually went to jail, but he got.
No, he got a couple of. I don't know if it was suspended sentence or whatever.
Dankula.
Ah.
Who,
Yeah, the guy who was making the dog. The dog.
You're the High Hitler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they charged him. See there, that's.
If he hadn't been
dangerous.
saying gas to Jews and just the Hail Hitler dog thing, I would have thought that's, you know, it's kind of funny getting a dog to say Hail Hitler.
Yeah, I mean, it's
That's-
fucking heinous. I
The
mean,
thing is though,
that's
because he put it in a video, so him saying gas Jews constantly over and over again, was considered hate speech because he's just saying that same word again. So like, I think he was fined. I don't think he was charged. I think he was fined something.
Yeah, I think
And-
he was charged, but he was able to like pay bail or something.
Or pay something like that. Yeah, I don't know the full thing of
Yeah,
it. But like,
so there's that extreme
he's-
case you're talking about. But even he wasn't. Well, apparently, supposedly wasn't actually. Like, it was supposed to be a joke.
It was very, it was very poorly
distasteful and bad joke.
distasteful and poorly delivered. But I mean,
Yeah.
I think the idea of a dog Nazi's,
Mm.
you know, funny.
Mm.
The idea is just
But I
of
think-
an actual dog, but actually
if he
having
had done
Nazi
it-
beliefs.
if he had done it not in like a public broadcast or something like to his
Yeah.
mate or something like that, yeah, I think the fact that he's sort of saying gas Jews, everyone to
Yeah,
a big wide
fucking
audience
crazy.
that are looking at it, like,
But like
you know.
people like that, most people can agree that's a fucked up thing to say, right?
Mm.
But then, as I said, what a government would do, what's happening now with the left, with people who agree with me, or I agree with them, should I say, they're starting to expand those ideas to encompass other things, like whether you think certain policies should be in place, certain economic policies, certain, abortion. That might start falling under that now on the other side. And people are shutting down other people from speaking. I know I'm having to go with the left here, but it's only because I'm on the left. Oscar Wilde once said, your true friend will stab you in the front. All right, that's what I'm doing.
Well, it's the whole idea. Like, I think people feel like even in person that they're just like unfollow. Like you
Yeah.
could be talking to someone up, in front, and they'll be like, "I'm going to say my piece and then unfollow, and you're not my friend anymore,
Mm.
and we're done." You know?
I have gotten rid of a couple of people on Facebook though.
Yeah, me too.
I didn't really know them. It turned out they were like super racist, and I was like, oh,
So I saw
no
fucking
thanks.
Margot Kidder, Lois Lane died.
Yeah.
As of this episode, I think like yesterday. And
The
Lois
original
Lois
Superman
Lane, yeah,
films.
from
in Superman, the original Superman films, Christopher
Christopher
Reeves.
Yeah,
Lois Lane was-
Oh, right.
So
I
she,
know what you were saying.
so
Loads Lane.
Lois Lane,
Shoot the Lois Lane.
So she died, and Roseanne Barr put up a thing that said "R.I.P. Margot Kidder," and then her nephew posted a thing saying, "My aunt would be ashamed of the person that you've become. Get her name out of your filthy fucking Nazi mouth."
Jeez.
And I saw that liked by a few of my friends on Twitter,
Yeah.
but very very left leaning.
Yeah.
And I'm like, can you not see how fucking okay? So for one, she's doing a show that appeals to 49% of people who voted for Trump. She's not saying a fucking
that's 49% of 50%, but 25%.
okay. Well, what was the population?
About 52% people voted.
52% voted.
Of voters voted.
Only
So
voters
you're
voted.
probably looking at about 20% of the population actually voted for Trump.
So 20%, but whatever. I mean, people,
But they have a legitimate.
or even not even Trump, Republican.
Hmm.
Republicans would have probably voted for Trump. So she's now having a sitcom where they were Republican before, but it wasn't a bad Republican. Now it's bad Republican. And I understand why it's bad Republican.
Yeah.
But now she's rebooted the show and they're Trump supporters. They don't bring it up. But just the whole day.
There's a weird sort of undercurrent of like the latest episode where they got Muslim neighbors and she was convinced they were building a bomb, so she's reported them and stuff.
Jesus.
So,
But is that
that's-
not the ignorance? Is that not the whole idea that did they turn out to be terrorists?
No, I think I didn't watch it, but I think they were just like Muslims.
Well, that kind of is that not funny? It's playing on the hysteria of
Mhm.
people. I mean, if you're not bringing that to people's attention, that people would think that they're Muslims and they turn out to be really. I'm assuming if there's any fucking decency in the world, this family turned out to be normal people and not
Jesus,
terrorists.
Imagine they were terrorists and we were just like trying to get off. And they're like,
But whatever.
"Oh,
I'm not trying to get on. I'm not trying to again support Trump supporters.
No.
But we live in a world now where people are trying to pretend like that doesn't exist, and not even Trump supporters. People didn't know what they were voting for at the time, and they were voting for their party in a
Mm.
two-party system.
Is that?
So
So
the
there's
fact-
also the fact that he talked about the economy more than anything else when he was on the campaign trail.
Yeah, if you're in like the rural America and no one's representing you, then this guy comes along and says, "We're going to come back. We're going to bring back all your money. We're going to bring back all this
Yeah.
stuff." Who are you going to vote for? You're not going to vote for old granddad Bernie Sanders
Mm.
or
Crooked
no,
Hillary.
Crooked
no.
Hillary.
Bernie would have won.
Do you think so?
Bernie
Do
would have won. Bernie would have won. hands
Slaughtered
down.
Trump
Yeah.
easy, and he will in 2 years' time.
you think he'll go for it again?
Yeah, he's making moves. He's hiring some people.
He's hiring you.
No,
He's gonna be on the-
you
he's gonna
won't
be on the-
need to. I'll be on the trail from
Yeah.
this room right here. No,
Well-
no. If Joe Biden runs, which it looks like he will, Bernie definitely will because they're the same age.
Will
so
the
no one
Dem-
can say that he's too old.
Too
Will the
old for it.
Democrats? Or will the Democrats?
Oh, definitely for the Democrats because you can't get anywhere in that system.
But will the
Yeah,
Democrats push him?
they won't try and fuck him over again.
You think
No.
so?
Oh, without a doubt. It took
Are
Hillary
people
Clinton,
still looking for an outsider?
It took Hillary Clinton years to undermine the party so much that she could pull off the shenanigans that she did during that primary,
Mm.
and subvert democracy.
Mhm.
She was a big danger as well.
I definitely thought Bernie was going to get the nod. from the
Yeah,
thing. And then
so
I was
like-
when-
but when you look into it, I followed it at the time, but the shenanigans that went on was extraordinary.
Yeah. He should have won it. He
Should
would
have.
have, wouldn't he?
He would have won
Being honest,
in a general election. Slaughtered it.
not the DNC or whatever it's called.
The primary. Oh, if it had been a fair fight, you probably would have won. It came quite close. But it wasn't a fair fight.
Mm.
But there's no one has those
that's
like,
America.
that collapsed that because within parties, in like a two-party system like Britain or America, you have to actually take over the party. You can't come up with a new party and then rise up
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
because those systems aren't in place with first past the post voting. It's like almost impossible.
Mm-hmm.
So there is no way. So the structures that the Clintons would have put in place as they were getting to run for her election, they all collapsed. Collapsed after she lost. And that includes all the media structures, everything. It all just collapsed and dissipated instantly.
Mm.
Because it's a clear nail in the coffin. So they'll try another oh no we're all right with Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Isn't there a big swing? So like if there's a long period of a Republican, there's like a long period of a Democrat, stuff like that. It's a big swing. So everyone gets sort of pissed off with the Democrats after a long period, and then they'll go with
Yeah, it
things
would
on.
look like that. I
I
mean,
think it's only marginal because there's only two fucking options and no one gives a
Yeah.
shit about
Yeah.
either of them.
They need a big overhaul. The collegial electorate or whatever it's called.
They need to start from scratch. They need proportional representation voting. They need a single transferable vote.
Mm.
They need to get rid of the two-party system. They need to move to a parliamentary structure. So they need an upper house, a lower house. You already have that. You have the Senate and the Congress. Make it a proper parliament where the head of the head of state has no power. The president has no power.
Mm.
Yeah, other than ceremonial power like Ireland.
Like
And-
Higgy.
yeah, and then the largest party gets to elect the Taoiseach.
So
And they should call it Taoiseach.
yeah, they should. Yeah.
So here on this podcast, you are officially saying that you are going to take over America
From this very room.
from this very
Yeah.
You said you were going to be Taoiseach, so that would be great that you
Yeah.
could both be.
You're both
Yeah.
both
Power
Taoiseach.
together.
Yeah.
US Taoiseach, Irish Taoiseach,
Where
together.
do you want a real tie?
Yeah.
Barbados, man.
One of us will be sitting there eating little fetus birds, and then the other one will be like smiling.
With one leg.
Yeah. with a pearl necklace.
Yeah.
And I'm really sad because I've no friends.
Yeah.
You got both your legs.
I lost it all.
I lost it all.
All right. Now let's see what. How long have we been recording for? It's so fucking warm in this room. I can't believe it.
20.
Hour 20. Jesus. It's so warm.
I'm sweating. My ears are sweating. I'm sorry who has to use these cans afterwards. Cans are headphones, I learned.
Let me see what I can have
Very
here.
good. All right, while you're looking for that, I should probably just say, for the record, like, I don't think Nazis are funny. I just think the idea that a dog...
You overthink things so much, Tony,
No,
and I love it.
And as well...
There's such a broad reach
No,
now,
because
you
as
know,
well,
it's
I'm
like
just thinking of the
we can
fact
say what we
that
want.
you forget that you're talking to something that you actually want people to listen to, And as well as that, there's a thing, I think, there's something I said about no voters. Yeah, forget it, doesn't matter. Fuck them.
We're not trying to denigrate anybody, and we're not
Yeah.
trying to prop up any fucking Nazis. We're just trying to stand up for fundamental principle of democracy, which is freedom of speech. Some people take advantage of that and things go extreme, but you can't undermine a good thing because of the extremes that people go to. Like, for example, you can't get rid of the dole because of some people skiving off the dole. The dole's still great no matter what. People need to be able to fucking feed their kids, yeah?
Yeah. Something
Even the poor need to feed their kids. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Something I'm desperate to do more of is see people's motives and not actions, and see why you would do something. And if I can't really understand it, then I probably don't, I need to understand it.
Yeah, I think that's a brilliant way to look at things. I've done that. Did that when I was 27. I had like a little quarter life crisis.
Yeah.
Just before I went to college. Yeah. Completely overhauled my whole outlook on the world. Stopped watching the news. Stopped watching the telly. That kind of stuff.
I think I
only
need
watch
I
supermarket sweep.
do that every so
Yeah.
often. I'll just turn off my phone for like
Yeah.
a week or something.
You got to
and
just take a
don't do
reset
anything.
because then you
Have a
realize
shit in a
that
wood.
Lovely.
you have to give people the space to do things wrong because we all do things wrong. Like in work, for example, people get so worried about making mistakes. I remember I started working in this place and they were like, oh, if you get a call from this person, Jesus, you've done something bad and blah, blah, blah. And I was just thinking, someone's going to make that mistake. If it happens to be me, no one's going to ring me up and make me feel like shit at work. No one's going to make me feel shit at work. I'll say that right now, all right?
Yeah.
I'll say that for the record. Anyone tries to make me feel shit at work and they'll have a hard fucking time. It's happened to me before. I had a boss scream at me before. I sat him down and I pointed at him. I said, don't ever scream at me again. And I gave a bollocking.
And he was fired. Straight after.
He was the owner. He was a lovely, lovely, lovely fella. But he overstepped the mark and he had to go to his place. But no one's gonna like if someone rang him and was like, what you do, you fucking blah 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 blah. He's like, yeah, I made a mistake.
Yeah.
Everyone makes mistakes. Let's fucking fix it. And you shout at me again and I'll fucking scream right.
That's great.
I think I'm getting delirious from the heat.
Yeah. I was going to say there, just on like kind of the hysteria things. Like I'm on Twitter, and I probably go on Twitter more than the other social medias, but it pisses me off the most.
Yeah, it was unreal. Like, yeah,
because I am getting people's. I'm not even getting the facts. I'm getting people's over the top reactions to the facts, and then I'm actually having to do a job of finding out
With
the
the
original
facts.
news source. So
mental,
I see
isn't it?
someone going ape shit about Kanye, and naturally I'm curious. So now I have to actually search for as unbiased a version as I can, but I've already made my mind up because I've been influenced by my friends.
You've seen one
Yeah.
side of
You
it.
know,
yeah.
and it pisses me off, and I want to get
what
off
was
it,
that
but-
all about? I seen the clip where he said something slavery was a choice, or he kind of insinuated that it was.
Oh no, he said it straight out.
No,
Yeah,
he
was it
did.
TMZ?
He said something just so flippant, which just shows.
That's what I mean by
his
sorry. When I
disconnect.
say insinuated, I meant it was very a flippant remark. It
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
like they were having an in-depth
Oh,
discussion
right,
about
yeah.
slavery,
Yeah.
and he was like making a case for it.
He just said 400 years. That sounds like a choice. He couldn't believe that someone could be.
And it's a common right wing or like ultra right wing type
Yeah.
of.
It doesn't
way
come
of,
at a good time when he's getting his MAGA hat signed by Trump.
But
so
it is part of their kind of way of trying to legitimize certain things like slavery.
Yeah,
I think it's part of their kind of
That they kind of
subculture,
earned.
what they tell themselves.
Yeah,
how it's
yeah.
okay. Which is funny because he's obviously getting sucked into that.
I don't
I
know.
think he's
I
just
like,
completely disconnected.
yeah, exactly. Like
Or
he's-
he knows what he can do, and he knows all the choices available to him, and cannot comprehend, which is the exact opposite of is a slave.
He's been disconnected for a long time. That guy.
I think
Yeah,
no, I think there is
And also his album's
some
coming
mental.
out, so he's
yeah,
fucking
it's probably
looking
something
up
like
for-
getting. I think there is some mental things there. Like after he lost his mother, went during the plastic surgery incident.
Oh, yeah.
He sort of like he released a couple of good albums, but then he started going off the thing. Like I don't know, maybe if it is true or he's genuine or something, or it's just
Yeah.
I listened to his last album. What was that song in it? A really good song, Rihanna at the end of it.
I remember.
Do you not know it? What was the fucking song? She's singing the Nina Simone song at the end of it.
Oh no, it's gone. I had it there a second, and then you stalked.
Famous.
Famous.
I listened to that album. It's really good. I'm a big fan of Kanye West music.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I've been since his first album. Like,
Mm.
funnily enough.
I just think he's getting some bad whispers in his ears, like worm tongue.
That's what it seems to me,
Yeah.
and it's interesting to watch because
He
it's
fired his
like,
manager.
did he?
Yeah.
Didn't Justin Bieber go off with some religious dude?
Yeah, so he's gone heavy into the like
Jehovah's Witnesses? Is it?
Jehovah's Witness. No, I think
Really?
it's Baptist.
Yeah, I think he fired all his like people, and then he's only listening to. He's getting his counsel from this one dude who's like a religious
dude looks
dude.
really cool. He's really handsome as well, though. I have
Does
to
he?
say.
He was hyper religious starting out. I mean, if you see interviews of him as a kid,
Bieber.
yeah, he's
Oh,
like, I
really?
just want to thank Jesus. And like, what do you think of all the girls coming after you? He's like, I just don't look at that sort of thing. I just think about Jesus, you know. And like, it's every interview he
Yeah.
would relate back
That
to Jesus.
changed.
Yeah, well, I think he kind of, I don't know, maybe played it up or something like that.
Probably
or
went
saw-
through puberty.
Went through puberty,
mean,
yeah,
it must be a
publicly,
fucked up
unfortunately.
It
experience.
was probably
being that
like
same
his
stuff.
management saying, "Go play this heavy angle because like teenage girls want someone who's non-threatening." So like a Jesus-loving like soft boy.
And his previous
Yeah,
shtick was like, yeah, they're all over me.
Yeah.
I'm only 12, 25-year-olds all over me.
He sounded exactly like that as well.
That's what he was like,
Yeah.
before they polished him up.
After his fucking 60 Benson hedges, and it was like 20 points.
Yeah, poor old Kanye. But the kind of, because obviously slavery, the slavery they had in America is still very abstract for us in Ireland because we could never fully understand it culturally because we're not there. You'd have to come up in that society to really, really understand it. But we can draw our own similarities because it would mean 700 years of British rule was a choice,
Yeah.
But like we voted the Brits in, and we were like, "I'll stick around there," and then we eventually were like, we'll vote them out," And it certainly wasn't
And
a
then
choice.
give them no points in Eurovision.
Yes.
Even after she got attacked.
Again and again.
Yeah, I actually watched the Eurovision this year.
Did you?
Bits of it, yeah.
They should change the name.
Eurovision.
Just
Yeah.
World Vision.
World Vision, yeah.
No, they
Vision.
should keep it as Eurovision.
Vision.
The Vision.
They should fucking keep it as Eurovision and fucking make a few changes.
Get rid of
and keep it Eurovision.
Get the Aussies out.
Get the Aussies out.
Get the Israelis
Get
out.
the Israelis out. And there's other countries there that I don't think it's EU
Turkey.
anymore.
Turkey's in the EU.
Oh,
or
is Turkey?
was.
But that's the
I don't
border
mind.
now
Was
of Europe
almost.
and Asia, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't mind Turkey.
Istanbul.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
That literally was the border between Europe and Asia
Yeah.
way back when. Constantinople, isn't it? When it was Constantinople.
I've not been, but apparently it still
Istanbul,
is. Literally
Istanbul.
comes down to the bridge, one bridge.
Yeah.
Big giant chain across the river there in Constantinople back in the day. Look it up. Just a massive chain.
Was it for something? It was just.
I think it was to stop chips.
Oh, obviously, yeah.
I think. But big fuck
I
off
would
chain they
stop
had there.
chips, chips anyway.
Oh,
Yeah,
chips.
it definitely would.
I did say chips.
God, it's warm.
So, yeah.
It's
Take off your
delight. We're gonna
fucking
have.
jumper.
I think we should. Well, the camera's on me. I want to look cool. Above all else.
Suffer through the.
That's why I picked keeping both my legs. I can't imagine being on camera with one leg.
Be stand.
So we should probably just stop.
You probably should.
It's been a lot, and your head is shining.
Is it?
Yeah, we should probably do this whole
My
camera
hands are
thing
shining.
without the light next time and see if it works because I'm not doing this again.
Yeah. Are you going
Fuck that
delirious
shit.
with the heat? Are you?
No, I'm going delirious because of college.
The heat's adding to it.
Yeah. So I
Well,
finished.
you look great.
Thanks.
Oh, there you go.
Thanks. I always look good when I'm, losing.
Losing it. Just
Yeah.
the
It's
brink
when I
is
get my
snapping.
shit together that I just let myself go.
Savage should have
Oh,
seen you
yeah.
27.
yeah. Yeah, no top on,
It's a horror show.
But so I uploaded my because I just may as well say because I've talked to college a lot.
Yeah.
I uploaded my final project on Sunday night.
Ooh, when did you get your
half
results?
11. I actually don't know. I never know
Don't
these
care.
things. I don't give a shit. I know I'm not going to fail. I think.
Mhm.
So uploaded it anyway. And Rachel said she had a present for me. Whipped out an Xbox.
Oh!
4 games.
Oh!
4 games. What games?
Well, it came at one. Shadow of War, I think it's
Yeah.
called. But I haven't played Shadow of Mordor, which I really want to play. So she also got me GTA 5, which I already had from a previous Xbox that broke a few years ago.
Mm,
So I'm going to trade the new GTA 5 in for Shadow of Mordor.
very
And
sexy.
then Final Fantasy 15, which I can't wait to play.
Ooh,
because-
because great.
Yeah, well, it's the first one I haven't played, I'm just that's one of my things. I'll just put myself away for a week and play that through.
Mm.
And Far Cry 5.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
It's
good.
Yeah.
Have you got that?
do ya? It's I mean, for a game that's kind of very wanting to be grounded, in America now because of the development cycles of things, they didn't know that they were going to be tapping into the whole
Yeah.
as much of a right wing thing as
Yeah.
they did. But I think they actually do play it a bit safe. I think it's just overly destructive pantomime villains because they couldn't possibly show someone.
Well, I haven't played any Far Cry's before. Are they always overly pantomimed?
To some extent, Far Cry 3 wasn't so much.
Yeah,
Far Cry
3
3
was great. Like when that's your man and the island. I can't remember.
Yeah,
I
and
think
it's like, and you play this kind of like frat boy who's, you know, spending daddy's money on an island, and then fucking pirates take over, and it's like really like you can kind of relate to being a bit spoiled and shit not going your way, and being and your older brother getting killed in the first couple of minutes. So you really,
I can relate to that.
well,
I can relate to that. Yeah.
and then you can kind of, but then the other ones are like, I don't know, I can't
It's
get
not funny at all.
I can't get behind this. Second one you play is this like
a guy whose mother is from this made-up country in near Nepal.
Yeah.
And the dictator Pagan Min takes over, and it turns out.
and he's a good character actor, but you're kind of like this privileged, you know, this overly privileged prince kind of character, and in the new one you're like a deputy, but you're nameless and you know
More of RPG kind of stuff.
yeah.
I haven't played him, but I watched a lot of video game stuff on YouTube.
Yeah, me too.
Loads of it.
I always put it on just before I go to sleep. I'll be like, oh, what do I watch? I watch a lot of Isaac. Do you ever play Isaac?
No.
It's like this roguelike cardinal direction shooter.
Oh, cool.
It's really good, but I just watch it and like what am I doing? I'm a 30-year-old
No, it's
man
great,
watching
man.
a guy play a video game.
Brilliant.
And I'm like,
I love
Better than
watching
daytime
analysis.
TV, like
yeah.
I like watching analysis. You know, like
Game theorist.
I haven't watched that. Jim Sterling, I watched.
Oh,
but,
Jim Sterling,
He's very
yeah.
negative. Not that kind of stuff, but just like they'll say like why this mechanic in this game is brilliant, and then someone will do like a 15-minute on this particular mechanic in the
Oh,
game.
I love
Because
that,
I'm
yeah.
interested in game development because I can do it now. I know how to
yeah,
program a computer. You know,
brilliant.
I can do it. So I like those kind of stuff. But you know what I watched recently, right? There's this fucking Jesus, I'm losing it here. There's this fucking thing they do for charity every year. I think they do it all over the world, and they live stream it, and it's speed running.
Oh, yeah.
contests. So they
Oh,
do 'em-
yeah.
People will try and beat world records there and then. But I didn't realize there's a challenge one where like 4 of them will do the same game at the same time to see who completes it the fastest. And it was a video I
That's
watched.
stressing me out now. Like I'm not.
Oh, I love
maybe
that.
it's just a room, but I'm actually stressed out of thinking of someone playing Mario trying to beat another person playing
man.
Mario.
Yeah,
It's
So-
incredible
Mario
to watch.
64 doing the backwards glitch
Yeah.
where he jumps like
Yeah.
Oh, the sounds are full low volume. Like,
yeah.
But you know, it was like the top 10 closest calls during these races.
Mm.
And it was like he'd pause the guy who narrates these videos, it's a particular channel, he's really like straightforward, and he's like, we can pause it here, we can see that he was only 3 frames ahead, and like literally 3 frames ahead, like going into the final boss, and like beat this guy in milliseconds at this game. And it was edge of your seat stuff, and they're all going crazy. There's like 15 of them in this room, they're going fucking mental, you know. And I'd love to go.
I'd get caught up in that. I mean, not even so much the esports, but a game that I've played and finished, I would fucking watch the shit out of speedrunning.
Yeah,
Mm.
I recently beat Donkey Kong Country for the first time in years.
Oh, really?
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it was brilliant. And then I watched someone beat it in 8 minutes,
Oh, yeah.
and that was brilliant as well.
Very
When I was
impressive.
younger,
Tropical Freeze is out on the Switch. I'm going to get that soon.
when I was
Yeah, it
that's
looks
a new
like
one,
a
yeah.
throwback, doesn't it?
when I was younger, I used to play a lot of Final Fantasy games like yourself,
Mm.
and Final Fantasy 9. That's one where you had the tail, isn't it?
Yeah.
yeah.
And
was mad on
so I completed it, and
Super
then I
game.
got like a magazine saying, "Oh, to get the best weapon, you have to complete it in under 12 hours." So I went back to check out how long I had been taking it. It took me 45 hours to complete the game, and I was like so disappointed I couldn't get Excalibur version 3
Yeah.
for Final Fantasy 9.
Or Knights of the Round from Final Fantasy 7. I never got that materia.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't.
I had to get the Golden Chocobo.
Yeah.
Mm.
I just watched Newman play.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You just.
I used to play that in Newman's all the time. One time we were in Newman's gaff, right? Newman's Tony's cousin. We were up there, me, Neil, and Newman, and they were talking about, was it Chrono Trigger or one of
Chrono
these?
Trigger, yeah.
I'm not sure if it was Chrono Trigger because I never played the game they were talking about. I know it wasn't Neil. It was Dave and Newman, right? And they were like, the last boss they were going on about. And I was like, shh, don't tell me the fucking last boss, you know? And they were like, no, he won't, you know? And they're like, oh, let's just say he's kind of like a backwards dog. And I was like, oh, it's God, is it? I'm like, how did you guess that? I was like, what do you mean? He said, you just said backwards dog. So I never
I would have
played
said
the game.
cat.
So thanks,
No,
Newman.
I actually thought it was a dog's arse.
Really?
Arse's
The way
face.
you said that, backwards dog. I was like, where's his head? What is? And then you said God.
I was hoping to
Yeah.
eventually play that, so thanks very much, man.
I don't think it's Chrono Trigger.
Homebound.
Oh, was it?
No, I don't think it is. It's something story.
Harvest Moon or something?
But yeah,
Not
great.
Harvest Moon. What's
great
the one that had
games.
like 7 different endings?
Homebound. Or
No.
Earthbound.
Don't know. It's important.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, it isn't important. None of this stuff's important.
Whoa.
It's good to do it anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is good to do it. But anyway, so I uploaded this thing. Rachel gave me an Xbox, but man, it was the strangest fucking feeling. Like I was like floating. I described it to Ali, like you know that do the thing in your pockets where you hold your
yeah.
hands,
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
it feels like your arms are floating.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like that in my whole body because I've been doing 16 hours a day coding for like a month, and I was only getting 5 or 6 hours sleep the last 2 weeks.
Jesus.
And the night before I'd only gotten like 3 hours sleep. So it was pretty fucking intense, and just had this wave of emotions and all sorts of weird shit going on at the end, and I was just felt locked.
Yeah.
Then I got handed an Xbox and just sat there
Fucking
with it on my
savage.
lap, like in the box, just like, oh, it's brilliant. I love it.
And had to sit through hours of updates.
And then I fucking turned the thing on and I had an update.
Yeah.
I went like on Monday. Then I was like, this is my day to relax after all the things. So I woke up about 2 p.m.
Mm.
Got myself together. Got some weed. I thought I'd get some weed and I'll go play some GTA 5.
Can you
Can't
say
even
weed
play.
on a podcast?
I can say whatever the fuck I want on the podcast. Anyway, that's the next one. That's the next big one, is legalizing weed.
Oh,
Anyway, so I got some weed and I was all ready to get stoned and play GTA 5 because when my Xbox broke a few years ago, I was like 3/4 the way through a playthrough. So I was like, I'll finish it finally. Turned the Xbox on, big update. It took about half an hour.
Mm.
Put a GTA in, 17 gigabyte update.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ!
That's 45 minutes.
It's like 25 PlayStation 2 games or something.
Yeah.
Shocking.
So I had to wait for fucking ages. I got stoned and played it in the end.
Listen, that's all we can ask for
That's all
in
that
this
matters.
in this politically
Charged
charged time
Mhm.
of
eating
getting stoned,
eating bird fetuses and sucking dicks and paedophile popes. We covered it all today, haven't we?
That's a good recap.
It's a classic episode.
It is
It's a classic episode of Fellow Passengers.
So if you're playing fellow passengers bingo at home, you probably have about 5 lines.
Or if you have the 4 corners, we're taking that now.
Yeah.
Let's stop.
This is fun, man. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks for
it's been
coming
great.
in.
Thanks a million for coming in again, and I'll see you again.
There's the music.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
have some time.
The lads obviously want to leave as well.
I wasn't joking about Mayor sweating.